Oh, the hell are we live? Are we live? Are we live, guys? Hold on. Are we live? Hello? So right now I'm hoping that we're live. Yeah. So we have the Roblox thingy. If you don't know, like I've created this called an animation. So like does that or that. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna be watching the Roblox live thingy. So I advise we get started because it's like started like 5 minutes ago. Let's go to Windows. I hope everything's up right now at the start. Wait, is this live?
Dollar round.
Oh.
There will be 8 games in total played today.
I just realized my thing is not
This
on.
isn't a tournament about being the best at any one game. It's about mastering them all. First up is the qualifying round. And Jay Party, why don't you tell us a little more about that?
Gladly, Mimi. We're going to have 10 contestants that have the chance to compete in 5 games. Dress to Impress, Super League Soccer, Blade Ball, Slap Battles, and Doors. But out of these 10 contestants, only 4 will move on to the next round, which will be the elimination rounds. All right, any questions?
Just one. How do you win at each game?
And the money question. Each game's a little different, so we'll explain the rules right before each one starts. One last thing to mention. At times throughout the competition, you may notice 2 Roblox admins, Holiday Beats and All the Swords. They are in place to operate, record, and make sure everything runs smoothly and fairly. That's right, all rules will need to be followed. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, we are ready to kick things off.
Let's do it. Our first game up is a fashion phenomenon. It's none other than Dress to Impress.
Game 1, Dress to Impress. There are 2 matches, and contestants will have to create a stylish look before time runs out. Judges will vote, and if there's a tie, they will also vote on who earns a higher placement. Everyone will collect points and advance to the next game. Here's the scoring for each match.
All right, folks, we also have a surprise. 3 of them, actually. Joining us as guest judges for Dress to Impress are none other than Twitch streamer Joe Bartolozzi, VTuber and variety streamer Iron Mouse, as well as music and reaction variety streamer I'm Dante. Welcome to the show, our 3 guest judges. All right.
Hello.
Hey, we are live. I'm Dante. Welcome to the show, our 3 guest judges. Very exciting stuff. How are you guys feeling?
Amazing. Can't wait.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Very excited. I was watching the intro.
Yeah.
This seems like a very competitive event.
Yes, it will. Are you guys ready to judge such competitions?
I'm ready.
Absolutely.
All right, your judgment hats are on. You're feeling good. That is exciting.
Anything you guys are looking for in particular? Are you big on focusing on the themes? Is it just going to be going off the vibe? What are you looking for in the judging today?
They have to come to slay.
Real.
Facts.
Playing for sure. I think I really need them to fit around the category that I'm judging.
Okay.
They have to not only look good, but also fit the style that they're trying to portray. That's mainly what I'm looking at.
What about for you, Dante? Anything you're looking at here?
Yes. The poses. The poses are very, very important to me. And if they're not hitting it, those stars are going to be super low.
All right, folks. Well, our 10 contestants are set, and they are underway to serve some fierce looks. So we are jumping in the game to check out this action now as folks are just getting their baseline outfits solved.
Let's talk about some of the differences that we're going to be playing with today versus the game.
What in the world is this, man? Why stressing? Well, I'm not a hater, but like, I'm just checking everything's running smoothly, right? I need to try pop up this 80 subscriber thing at the top. I'll figure that out. Yeah, Just keep watching.
Game that you all are familiar with at home. It's a little abridged.
Yes, not a lot of time, so they better hurry up.
Yeah, it's a good thought. Circus can be really on the nose, but maybe there's something more creative you can hide within it.
Obviously, the qualification to get here was a little different than what we're playing today. It was about solving puzzles, getting those mega tokens. And I know you were playing through some of the...
You see here. Wait, no. If you see, wait, where's the chat? This is absolutely cinema. 10 grown men playing Dressed to Impress. See what I mean? Ew, bro.
The qualifying games, as were, 140 million.
Very, very challenging, very impressive that these 10 made it here today.
A little note, too, for the folks at home. There is some additional rules the folks are playing with to give them an edge in these short rounds. They are running with the custom makeup unlocked, VIP access, run faster, and, of course, the increased item limit for some really creative looks that hopefully can slay out there.
A lot of our players talking ahead of this event said that Dress to Impress wasn't a game they had played a ton, and with such a wide variety of games ranging from fashion to FPS to an obby, the players had to practice a lot and really come in with ideas for the games that they aren't as comfortable about. But I think it's been clear that every one of these guys competing today has put that effort in, and even in these less comfortable games, he's going to put their all out there because every point matters, especially in this qualifying round.
Right, definitely. And it's good to put them outside of their comfort zone for the first qualifying round to see what kind of miraculous outfits they can pull off. And I will honestly say with a minute and a half left, everybody is looking good.
Yeah, we'll see. We thought this was a relaxing warm-up, but talking to the contestants again, this is a high-anxiety round of fashion, putting some of their skills to the test here. And a good reminder, this is actually a newer game to the Roblox, and a lot of these folks are long-time players, but this came out in 2023, has already had 6.5 billion visits, truly has been a smashing success for the platform, and a pretty fun game, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, Dress to Impress, it's definitely been having a moment in these last couple of months, and I know a lot of people at home enjoy it, but this has got to be the most high-pressure match of Dress to Impress anyone here has ever played.
Yeah, I mean, especially in 2025, the day and age of aura farming.
Is that key for you, Enyu? Aura farming?
Yes, aura is the key to winning this. If I was a judge, that's what I would be looking for.
That will be what you're going for? Yeah, it's going to be interesting having some of our celebrity judges get to kind of give a little look there. I imagine they'll have different things that they like. You have to play to a pretty different crowd of people who are going to be making these decisions, and a lot definitely sits in their hands.
Well, we are closing in on the final 30 seconds of this. The jewelry selections and patterns moving forward here. Hopefully folks have a cohesive look going, and this is just the polish and cleanup phase because that runway clock is ticking.
Last couple of seconds here to really fiddle with everything. There's almost infinite customization you can do in this game, and it's easy to overthink it, but with limited time, they've got to lock in now. 3 seconds, and we're about to head to the runway, Enyu.
Can't wait to see the poses.
All right, who's going to kick us off? We've got Roby 100 showing off his fierce looks. Look at that pose. Nice use of a prop there with the cane.
Is that a cane they're holding, or is that a rose? I can't tell. That's a cane. Oh, you're right.
It almost looks like one of the batons you'd be spinning. Definitely fits the vibe here. You see him clicking around some of the poses here. Obviously, those guest judges right now, they're watching all of these players go through, giving their scores. This is only the first round of 2 that we're going to be playing for Dress to Impress.
The angles, choosing those poses has got to be a big part of the action here.
Definitely. How many poses can you choose from?
It's a pretty long list.
Yeah, there's quite a lot, and you got a lot of time right here on the stage.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of time.
Still going.
Absolutely here.
Just really living up the moment.
Yeah, absolutely the extended. We'll see. He must have got that off complete. All right.
They finally got Roby off the runway. Our next contestant coming up to bat. It's Mad Max.
Wow, a sassy look. Taking it real fierce for the circus.
Yeah, I like the makeup going on there.
How well do you think this matches circus, Enyu?
I personally think this is what I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's an interesting prompt because you can really get very direct on the nose, but I think there's some subtlety that the fashion judges are going to look for. As we know, this is a different style than normal DTI, as we have extra fashionable judges judging these. And here is Anonymous Lime.
Yeah, I like the microphone. Definitely looks like a performer up on that stage.
Yeah, with the mask. What do you call those masks again?
Masks is a good name.
Yes, very good one.
Yeah, looking like the
know the
ringleader
proper
of the
name.
circus there. It's good stuff.
Another contestant down the runway.
Oh,
Looks like this might be Dudda Dude and Giving Clown. Honestly, this might.
Damn. I think that might win it. Dud. I need to figure out this stuff. I was not prepared at all. I was not prepared at all. When I mean at all, I meant at all. I need to make another scene. Hold on, guys. Might seem like a black screen. Hold on. Not video capture. Oh, window cap. Yeah, window capture. Let me try YouTube. It'll make a hunt. No, not that. No, not that. I had to get some ideas, guys. Not that one either. That one. There we go. We're W keying, guys. We're W keying. Oh gosh. YouTube. So I can do multitask and do some stuff.
My favorite thus far. I
Lovely.
think.
But a strong look. Real Queen of Hearts style here.
Yeah, I think the hat really ties it together nicely. A lot
another
of
use
layering
that
going
cane
on.
there. Yeah.
Kane. I assumed we'd see a lot of props in the circus one. Maybe not as much as I even thought.
Remember, our contestants, they don't know the theme until we're actually going into things. So it's a lot about sight reading, figuring it out on the fly. And this one, another bit of a different approach.
Yeah.
The black and white kind of look. Almost looks kind of like a mime.
I was feeling the mime. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
kind of mime style. Not like the main stage of the circus you think about, but still a fun aspect of it. And I think that's, again, a cool interpretation of the theme.
Astute observation.
Thank you. And you. All right, we are wrapping up things soon here. And Terrell coming out, one of our final contestants, if not the final here. Again, rocking the red dress. We're seeing that theme pretty strong as well.
Slay.
And Terrell, our player with the most years played in Roblox, the most experienced guy on the stage today. Dressed to Impress one of the newer games, but still putting something good out there.
Yeah, hopefully his
Why
16
is it
years pay
doing
off.
that?
This is the Death Eagle, coming all the way over from Lithuania. Had to travel 14 hours to make it here to San Mateo and compete today. And honestly, another nice look. It's still the red and white theme, but a little different than the other contestants.
Yeah. A little lighter, a little simpler, and just spamming that Pose 28.
Post 28, made famous by a handful of celebrities, brought to you by DTI.
All right, well, that's all our contestants now walking down that runway. The judges right now tallying up the scores and making their decisions. A lot for them to think about. Some good looks out there.
All right, yeah, and that concludes the kickoff round of the ultimate competition, the Hunt Final with DTI. We hope the players are finally shaking those nerves off, getting relaxed. As we've mentioned, we are going to have our hosts kind of collect these scores, and we'll come back to you when they're ready.
Yes, we will. Was there any outfits that were standing out to NU? Would you have a favorite if you were to be judging today?
Personally, I like Icicle's cotton candy hair look and his those furs on the shoulders. Yeah, that definitely stood out to me amongst all the red color choices. So that's my choice.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, right? I think Icicles was the most unique out of all of these, but also there's a reason everyone went red and white. It's iconic for a reason.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing for the judges if they prefer that kind of iconic red-white, or people who kind of had a more creative interpretation of it. I think the mime was also a fun shout-out, as it really kind of instilled a thought in you as it went forward.
This game is interesting because it is so different than every other competition or every game that we have as part of the competition today. Everything else is pretty much going to be last man standing, fighting, all sorts of different genres. But this one is very much about kind of like the artistic character, the vibe. It catches into a very different skill set, which I think is going to be difficult for some of our competitors.
Definitely. Creativity is huge in this, but also having the skill set to know where all of the outfits, accessories are located in the lobby. Will save them a lot of time.
You actually need quite a bit of game knowledge, right? Like even the way the different pieces of clothing layer, things like that, it takes a bit of effort.
I wouldn't have pulled that off in such a short time for sure.
Yeah, reminding us again, these are shortened rounds at 4 minutes, so you got to know the layouts, you got to know the plan, have a plan of action when you get in.
And it already feels short when you're playing with 6 minutes. Like I was playing a fair bit of Dress to Impress to prep for this event, and I was stressed out with no money on the line and 6 minutes to get set.
Yeah, very, very stressful.
All right, well, we hope the stress is being relieved here as they're going to be warming up here for our next round. We are gathering folks in the lobby now, and we hope we're going to be breaking through soon with the next and final round of Dress to Impress. As a reminder for the folks at home, we're going to be playing 2 initial rounds here before we progress any of our users. So we've got more action coming.
Yeah, let's take a little look here, though, because the judges, they've tallied up our first round, and Dud repping that light blue is taking things home here.
I told you. I called it. Look at that. Dud. I told you. I knew we were gonna win there easily. Told you. Keep going.
Yeah, followed by Jay and Icicle. And again, all the points matter. Your spot is a big deal. You want to climb to that top as much as possible. So an interesting kickoff indeed.
As a reminder on format, this qualifying round has 5 total games. Points are cumulative throughout and at different phases throughout the day will qualify a contestant into that top 4. But performance is just as important at the beginning here in DTI as it will be later in the day towards doors. But it looks like we are ready to go. Let's hop into our second round of Dress to Impress and take a look at what that new theme is going to be. Looks like everyone's just loading in right now, so should be able to hop in there in just a moment. I'm hoping to see a theme that is going to ask something different. Maybe we'll get a little bit more variety, because a lot of contestants did have the same idea in that first round.
Correct. We saw some recurring themes, particularly some recurring colors. I'm hoping to kind of mix it up. That was definitely a whimsical one. We'll see how far-fetched we get, or if we bring it back to a more serious tone here. Looks like folks are just getting now into that lobby, so we're going to be able to turn it over in a brief moment and go to you live. Round 2.
Here we are, and let's see if we can't get in one of these contestants' POV and take a look at what theme they're working on today.
Yeah, it's interesting to see they're not all at the same booth, so contestants are spreading out here. I mean, again, your time is limited. What is your strategy for the two of you here? You think you're going wide dresses, specific on the makeup? This is an interesting start here from Jay.
I think you can't get too bogged down in the details. You want to start like as macro as possible. Like when I was playing this game, I always thought like, what's like the piece that is making me think the
What
theme
in the
immediately,
world?
and then kind of tie everything else in around that.
Elf ears. Definitely elf ears.
Elf
Pointy
ears.
elf ears and some wings.
Yeah, the wings, the elf ears. I'd honestly be shocked if anyone doesn't go for those kind of looks.
You know, that's the kind of thing, though. Can you create a look without wings that conveys fairy? Maybe that's going to be the winning combo just to stand out from the crowd. But for now, we are seeing a lot of fairy wings coming out.
And it looks like blue is the recurring color here amongst the contestants.
Yeah, here, ice, I think like light blue, white, those kind of colors. Seems like Mad Max getting the same idea here.
Mm-hmm. And here we are, another little larger gown here from Anonymous Lime. I realize I don't know if I know my gown styles here, but
I'd say that's a gown.
That's a gown, right? Nice and flowy.
I'm a gown expert. That's definitely a gown.
As a gownologist yourself, and you?
Yes.
Right.
I'm interested to see Icicle's take on this because he might be, he's always creative thinking outside the box. He could be going with a different.
Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, he's slaying already with
It's
this.
looking
stuff.
different.
I like
It's
the
looking
idea
different.
of like the antlers there.
Yeah.
That's creative.
Yeah, that is fun. Again, looking for those little subtle differences when you have something so direct as ice fairies as a theme here. Also, footnote, we see a lot of our contestants picking out very specific colors based on the hex code itself. And maybe not your typical approach, but these are some sharp players behind us.
Incredible. How do they have that memorized? Is there a cheat sheet?
No, I think they actually have internalized a lot of the hex code for the colors
That is wild.
throughout Roblox.
I know before the event, you were tallying it up. There's a crazy amount of experience between the players.
That's right. These are Roblox power users. I added up all of their hours of our 10 finalists here, and they have a combined over 76,000 in-game hours of Roblox time. So there are some experts here, and you're going to see that throughout the day, that these truly are masters of all trades.
Only one member on that stage with less than 10 years of experience in Roblox. Really a testament to the skill, to the dedication that it takes to have made it all the way here to the final.
The passion. The passion's definitely there.
Yeah, 9 years ago, the noob, where they've come. Could they have ever imagined they'd be here competing for $1 million, dressing as ice fairies? Not what you expect. But again, looking good here. And we only have, what, a minute 20 left, less than that in this final round of DTI, where we will get some more scores going forward. As a reminder, again, there will be another game before it progresses.
The beauty of Roblox, right? Being able to experience all of these different games while also having the opportunity to develop your own experiences as well. And I think you see some of that creativity coming out here.
Yeah, Roby, very fun one. Again, you mentioned he is a developer. He's been developing a long time, and he once created a game called The Easiest Game on Roblox, one of his hit games. And actually, today he's competing in now the hardest game in Roblox. So a wonderful journey for Roby, coming all the way to the other side of the hardest competitions around.
Yeah, I played Roby's easiest game on Roblox.
Really?
And I was not able to beat it.
Is the game ironic? Is it
I think I'm just terrible.
All right, you've heard
Maybe
it
a
here.
bit of column A, column B.
Yeah.
That's why we brought you on, Enu, for your expert skill set at being terrible at Roblox. It
That's
itself
what
is
I'm
a skill.
known
Yes.
Just look from Mad Max here. Little different. Most people are going for like a really colorful blue look like we're seeing from Anon Lime.
Yeah, I like these wings, though. Real alive. It adds a lot of flair. People are going for the more subtle fairy wings, but hey, just get out there with the real eagle, the eagle wings.
I don't know if this is possible. Do they have fairy wands in the accessories? Because that could be a good touch.
That's
Well,
a good...
If
We'll
they don't
find
have
out.
him now, they're out of time
Let's
because
find out.
we're walking the runway. Here's Roby 100.
Oh, yeah.
Why
First
does that?
look, I like the way he's
my
kind of
God.
integrated that fur. It almost looks like a cloud to me.
Yeah. It feels fashionable, and that's the thing. This isn't a
Why does this keep happening to me? Hold on. Guys, I'm just changing the thumbnail real quick. I don't know why this keep happening, but who knows? It keeps glitching out or whatever. I need to press change. Da da da. What do you know? Why is Roblox? Why is it doing me so dirty? It's doing me dirty. Nah, stop. Roblox is doing me dirty, guys. Why are you doing me dirty like that? Oh my god. It's doing me dirty. They've done me dirty there. Hold on, let me try this one now. Let me try this one. Save image as all files. So I'd have to flipping spend 10 years trying to find it. Hold on, let's see if it works.
costume contest. There is a...
Blue from Icicle. I like how cohesive it is. I think that the hair, the makeup, it all matches really nice.
Yeah, he did a good job matching that color. And I think cohesion is important here. You really want to send a message. Whether the judges love it or not is up to be interpreted, but at least you send a strong, cohesive thought.
There's a wand.
There it
That's what I
is.
was
Like a
looking for.
sparkler. I really
Oh,
like that.
Full sparkle
Yeah.
effects. Now we're talking.
Shafe.
Shave here.
Great choice.
Finding the good items. Look at that. And mastering the pose. See a lot of starred poses here. He had a plan. He knew the good ones, and he marked them. And that's
It's
important. All right, a couple more
it's
contestants here to come
happening. It's
down the
happening.
runway. Who we got left?
Who's coming up? Looks like this is
It keeps happening, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, guys. This game's... I mean, not this game. This game is absolutely bugging me. I'm just changing the thumbnail, guys. Because I was in a rush, pretty much. What in the world, Vlad? 2 viewers, 2 current viewers, down. Wait, why was if I asking to subscribe and they subscribe? Never mind, what am I saying? I need to close this. Maybe that's why. Hold on. There we go.
one of the looks we were talking about. Those
Confused. What's happening here? I thought that might have been what's happening in fashion.
Antarel, one of the few players to not go with any kind of ears or antlers, instead just these kind of cold weather earmuffs.
Earmuffs, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ice fairies, they got to be a little cold, right? Got to
Fair
keep warm.
play.
I like it. Again, trying to stand out. In a crowd of a crowded theme here, you want to be having that unique look.
Damn.
And this one is looking pretty nice. This is from the Death Eagle. Got
I
those
love
wings
the ice
flapping.
cream.
The ice
Does he
cream,
have 2 wings layered on?
I think that is a wing layering, and he's got a nice animation that kind of makes them flutter out. It's actually,
yeah.
Hold on, I need to
2
finish
wings
that.
layered on?
I think that is a wing layering, and he's got a nice animation that kind of makes them flutter out. It's actually
yeah.
a great look, and I think the ice cream is a good touch here. Our first
Oh my god. Oh, what is happening here? Dude, guys, what is happening? Oh, I paused it. My bad. My bad. My bad. You can't blame me on that. You can't blame me on that. It just randomly clicked.
break from the blue color scheme.
Yeah, it's kind of I like that. Definitely high stakes, but still a cool opportunity to meet a bunch of different other experienced Roblox players from all around.
Absolutely. It's been an incredible journey for them, I know, in their last 24 hours, all arriving from around the U.S. and around the world, actually. They've got to know each other pretty well here with some of the warm-up games, some of the practices, and it's wonderful to see that kind of camaraderie and teamwork from these folks. We know there's a lot on the line. Competing for $1 million is a lot of high stakes, but keeping that kind of general positive spirit and a good sense of camaraderie is important for the folks.
Yeah, so we have our judges tallying up the points right now,
won.
and
He won.
again, this
He
is
won,
going
yeah.
to be combined scoring
He
from both
won.
Dress to Impress
Isn't that
and our
Demon
second
Eagle?
game, Super League
Demon
Soccer, which
Eagle
is
won.
coming up
He
after
won.
this. But anyway, every one of these matters because it is cumulative. All of your points from this qualifying round count towards being one of only 4 players that is going to progress.
Right, definitely. You cannot take the first round lightly because the scores, like Mimi said, are cumulative. So going into soccer, though, is going
He
to be
won.
a much different
Ah.
skill set that they're going to be showing off. Some teamwork as Jay Party suggested, they got some time to spend with each other. So it'd be nice to see their teamwork.
All right. Scores are flowing in. As a reminder, in our first game, we saw Dude taking first place, followed by Jay and Icicle. We'll see if that holds again for this one, but I don't know. I'm expecting some upsets this time around. We'll see. A lot of those
Steven
looks
Eagle.
were similar. We saw the Blues stand out, so we'll see what the judges think again. I know DTI is not the experts of a lot of these players, but hey, a win's a win, and you got to come to win.
That's the thing that's brutal, right? It's like it's a category that you're having to sight read, figure out within 4 minutes, put a look together that's cohesive. But let's take a little peek at what our scores are. This is going to be the cumulative points from both rounds now, and it looks like our player coming out in front is the Death Eagle. A middling placement in the first round, but a strong 30 points in the second puts him out in the lead early on. A great showing for the Lithuanian.
Absolutely. And now total points coming in second. We had Mad Max, which is going to hopefully raise him a bit in the standings, but unfortunately still down here as Jay takes another strong spot and bounces up into the second spot here, up by 3 points, followed by Dudadud, who does fall into third from that one. Unfortunate showing in the second game, but hey, still in a great spot. You see the spread of points is still pretty tight. It will be anyone's game here going in to our next game. Here's some of the players. That is the Death Eagle there already, out in first, feeling good in the first round, although it is not over yet. Because guess what? I think it's time to see some more of our next game here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even just going from the first round of Dress to Impress, you see how their rankings change so drastically after the second round. So it's good to be confident, but definitely stay alert.
All right, folks, the judges have put in their verdicts. Let's hear more from the judges themselves. See if we can get them here on the stream and find out what stood out on today's runways. Judges, how y'all doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, we are just getting underway here. All right, we saw some styles, hopefully some of them even fierce. Love to hear from y'all. What stood out on today's runway? What did you love seeing? Maybe we'll start with Joe here. Work our way down the judges.
Okay. For the second round, I loved the person that won for the Ice Fairy round. I think it was all very well put together. The accessories were great. The ice cream was great. Obviously, Ice Cream, Ice Fairy matched perfectly. I was really looking at themes. I took poses into account, not as much as Dante obviously talked about doing, but I don't know. I was surprised at how good some of these outfits were.
Yeah, here we go again, seeing the recap of the Ice Fairies round for all of our contestants here. Some of those exciting outfits, as you mentioned. I think the one you're talking about might have been the last one here to come up. That was our winner.
Yeah, that was the Death Eagle with that double wing, the ice cream look. Iron Mouse, I wanted to ask you as well. When we were talking the other day, you were saying you were going to put a lot of emphasis on how well the players were fitting into the themes. How well do you think they did overall? Did they impress you in how on brand they were with these?
I have to say, I think the second round was much better than the first. I feel like they struggled a little bit in the first round, but I think the first round was kind of like a warm-up. So the second round was amazing, and I was very impressed with all the different looks. They looked so good.
All right, Dante, how about you? How you feeling today? What impressed you? What stood out?
What stood out to me was some people were going too blue. It wasn't giving ice. It wasn't giving cold.
It was giving mermaid.
Yeah, mermaid, more
Water,
ocean-like.
mermaid.
Yeah, docked off some stars for that. But the white, the snow, the crowns, the antlers.
Yeah.
Antlers were good.
Giving very much. Giving very much Ice Princess.
We love that too. All right, folks, we're going to move on to our next segment as the players are antsy and getting ready to jump into Super League Soccer. But a huge thank you to all of the judges. That was a lot of fun. Joe, Iron Mouse, and Dante, thank you again for joining us as guest judges on the Hunt Mega Final.
Loved your outfits, by the way.
Yeah, y'all looking like you slay yourself.
Fresh.
So,
Super
good,
fresh.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, coming out of that first game, what do you think so far, Mimi?
I was honestly impressed. I think the players did super well at DTI, but we've got something more coming up. Super League Soccer, it's a team game. It's going to be super different than what we saw in Dress to Impress.
All right, folks, the players are ready. And while the Death Eagle may be on top for now, it is still anyone's competition. Let's check out the rules for Super League Soccer.
Game 2, Super League Soccer. There are 3 matches total, and contestants will play 5 versus 5 in randomized teams. The team with the most goals wins the match. The contestant with the highest cumulative score will advance to the round of 4. Here's the scoring for each match.
All right. Folks, I think our players are back there and ready to go. Enyu, how you feeling about this one?
Very excited. Sports is probably something I'm a little more into. Watching, not playing, but yeah.
Have you played many of the sports games on Roblox?
I played pretty much all of them. Like I said, just video games. In person, not so great. So I think I'd be a good judge of how good they are here.
Well, here we go. Our second game of the day. It's Super League Soccer. The players randomly assigned to teams 5v5. That'll get scrambled between every round, and we're off to the races. The Death Eagle first in possession of the ball.
Yeah, and a strong initial breakaway already from our leader, but there he goes down. We've got a steal from the away team. As you see, we're going to have home versus away. Home in the, we'll say purple, and away in the green.
That they are. This game, the one where you're having to actually work with the team, trying to pass, find the right path to get that ball in is very important. Only 4.5 minutes per each of these rounds.
And I will say, blocks. Key is to stealing the ball from your opponents. Very easy to steal. So, as I say that, there's a goal.
That's Icy with the first goal for the green team here. Very nicely done by him. Gets the pass in from Roby and just sends that ball straight down the left side of the net.
All
nice
right.
celebration.
Strong opener from the away team here. And again, you see at the bottom of the first player screen, there is a boost bar for your stamina here. Something important to manage. Do not want to use it all getting the ball and then get caught out. You're going to lose it real fast. Wow, Icy with a huge breakaway.
Like I said.
No one's
beautiful
on the offensive side of the court. No one can pick this up. Goalie should be able to drag
and it's
ball.
out of range. The goalie can't get it. This could be a crazy turnout. Oh, if this works out for green. Oh, it's a miss.
The shot's just wide, but the assist from Roby. Roby set up the first goal, but he knocks it in this time. 2-0 lead to the away.
That was actually an incredible use of the mechanics of Super League Soccer. I'm not sure that pass could have been more accurate down the field. That did not allow the goalie to get it, and they did get the recovery.
Here's Roby again. Trying to
multiple steals per play.
This time the home team has to defend on their side of the pitch. A setup on the shot, but the goalie's got it, and he'll send it back away.
Oh, and that's unfortunate. The team down by 2 misses on that breakaway here. There's still a lot of game left here, as you see, 3:40 on the game clock. So they've got time to play. And
interesting
again,
move there by Jay.
I need to test my match, actually.
No teammate there. Not sure what he was thinking there.
Yeah, brave to think about that. They're definitely going for this like deep kick strategy, hoping to find someone to recover.
What in the world?
Going to have to defend here. Shot going just to the right, misses out, and a pass back into the middle of the pitch.
Oh yeah, my mic's
Somewhat
good,
even here.
actually.
Both teams have just been kind of clumping the ball. Not a lot of setups for passes thus far. Hard to get that teamwork going perfectly.
Yeah, a little too much clumping happening. We can hear the contestants behind us.
Good slide, though.
Getting pretty pumped back there. We're seeing a lot of yelling for the strategy.
They're into it. They're definitely into it. Loving the energy.
Absolutely. It is an exciting and intense one here. I know Super League Soccer brings the competition a little more fierce in a different way than we just saw.
Chance for a goal here. Death Eagle.
Oh,
save. That's
beautiful
very
save.
nice from Ansarel.
The goalie, always an important player here. A big cheer from the players. He knows that was a big, important one to catch.
Oh, maybe another chance? No. Pass back up. Icy is set up for it. No one here to defend
no
but
one
the goalie.
here.
It's a one-on-one for this shot. Can he get it through?
Close.
Misses.
Wide.
The twitch.
The twitch, I know. Playing it like a first-person shooter here.
I like the fake-out attempt, though. Looked like he was going into the right side of the goal. Went left instead. Doesn't work out, but they still have a good offense going here, Anu.
Definitely. Looks like the away team is definitely in the advantage here. Let's see. There's still 2 minutes left, though. They can still turn it around. A goal can happen in 10 seconds.
Shafe sends it up to Anonymous Lon. Middle of the pitch, trying to find a person to pass to, but no one's open in time, and Ice is on the offensive.
Oh, here we go.
Still has the ball. Another chance for a goal. Passes.
Nice pass.
Oh, he's on trying to find the goal and knocks it away.
0.
Repossession from the green team. This is going back and forth, and the goalkeeper sends it back down the middle.
Man.
The home team got to give a break to their goalie.
I know, really relying on that here.
He's
Oh, that was beautiful.
Shot from the Death Eagle.
Absolutely, the one-on-one with the goalie. Not a chance there. Death Eagle has shown he has come to play today. He is an incredibly strong competitor.
As these few minutes have continued, we've seen the players, I think, doing a better job of setting each other up for passes. That was Shafe on the setup there for Death Eagle to get the goal.
Absolutely. We're seeing more of a spread formation here, playing a proper offense and defense, and that's going to pay off for sure, as this is still anyone's game here.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat here from the live stream, and the chat is rooting for Team Bloxy Cola, which looks like the home team here.
That's good to hear here.
They're rooting for a comeback.
Another pass up the middle. They've got to come back quickly. 1.5 minutes on that clock. And Chaves had to do a lot of work as the goalkeeper here. Okay, Dragon gets possession again, and the passing seems better from the green team thus far. A chance for Roby, too high. And he gets spun out of control as the ball passes back.
Almost gets the backboard shot for himself there. That would have been one heck of a pass.
Self-assist.
Yeah.
Stat padding.
1 minute left to try and tie up this game. And at this point, I mean, you're oftentimes just thinking about trying to keep possession of the ball, run down the timer. Every second continues to move in the favor of the team at advantage.
Yeah, this is an intense game. And as we've mentioned, these are some of 10 of the best players in all of Roblox. Each one of them deserves to be here in their own right.
But for these players, this is another game where a lot of them said they weren't experienced. They had to learn it for this match. Another chance at a goal, but the keeper's got it. Shafe doing so well to defend, but he just needs some offense.
Just a little overshot. And that isn't important to note here. We're warming up with some of their least experienced
This could be the
games
tie.
here.
This could be the tie.
Oh, and the steal over the shoulder.
Oh, he got it back.
No, he gets it back.
Oh my
Just in the nick of time, he's tied this game up.
Oh, man.
This is intense.
30 seconds on the clock. This becomes anyone's game now.
Oh, gosh.
Death Eagle is hyped. I like that.
It was. We'll see if we
Like
see the
the energy.
tiebreaker out of this one. 30 seconds is enough still to score.
That's the question. Roby and Jay in a competition for the ball. Roby takes it back, trying to make his way up the court. A pass out wide, a shot, an opportunity for Da-Da-Da to end the game, and it's saved yet again from Shafe. Excellence from the goalkeeper.
Oh, man. Intensity is high behind us for the players. They are aware of what's at stake here. This is a lot of points for the
Wide
winning
open
team.
lane.
Oh, and another.
Duddy-Dud, what a steal from him. 4 seconds till we tick into overtime.
Oh, boy.
And the time is up.
Oh, no. So I believe we're not playing. The rules today will not be having overtime.
You're
There
right, it is just going to be a tie here.
Tie scoring, which means equal points for both teams.
Great
Uh-oh.
comeback by Bloxy Cola.
Yeah,
All
seeing
right.
some of the reactions from all the players here.
Yeah, we are.
about
We
that
are.
round.
All right. I think we have seen the conclusion of our first soccer game. As far as I understand, unless the voice in my head tells me something different, I believe we saw a tie. But no, we're seeing a kickoff here. We'll have to
You hear
see
how
here.
passionate the players are. Everyone is getting active in this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the folks at home can hear what is this tiebreaker extra. We'll see if they're playing the extra innings. Oh, and these are free kicks here.
Still 3 kicks left for each team.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we are doing the free kick rule here. All right. That was a change from what I understood here. So as we see in the left there already,
Wait, I'm so
looks like the home team is up by one
What's
goal here,
happening?
but more goals to go during the free kicks.
Let's see if we can take a look at Roby. His chance left
Oh!
side. Nice goal.
That was clean. That was
Great
clean.
fake.
And guess what? We're back to a tie here.
Yes, we are. 2 shots left for each of these teams. Lime, his opportunity. Antarell on the defense.
Oh,
Wow.
Misses.
It's it. Just over the shoulder.
And on Lime, retakes the lead for his squad. Another chance here. Dud-a-dud. Left
Dud-a-dud.
side. Blocks
Wow.
up the
They
keeper.
are just
Save.
trading
No.
goals.
And no one is missing today. 5-4 for the home team. Last chance for away here. Saved, though. That's very good from Antarell.
So here we go. The final kick. This is it. Antarella to bring it home.
To tie it or to lose the game. All pressure's on. Oh!
Oh, that is a goal here. That
Tied
gets it.
again.
That looks like
Sudden
handball.
death. First team to get ahead wins in this one.
All right.
Antarell
And that's it.
misses. And it's a goal landed
No.
for the home team. Now another chance to bring things back here. Icy, the game in his hands.
Oh!
Save.
Shafe again.
Wow.
They were down the whole match.
Oh,
Thanks
my-
to an excellent goalkeep, they bring things back and take the first round of Super League Soccer. What a sick way to kick off this game.
That was, and we all saw a lot of modes. It was a fast and furious game. We saw the overtime and then extended overtime as the skills of these folks truly is unmatched here. But we do have a win for the home team, which is huge. Starting behind in an 0-2
Yeah.
in the first minute of that game, they pull it out in the extended overtime free kicks. So that was exciting. I think it's time to check out these scores and see where we stand after that match.
Death Eagle looking good on the winning team after being our winningest player from DTI as well.
Yeah, it's true. And we see Jay as well on that team. So this is a strong start for the folks who are already in the lead here, winning that match one. As reminding the folks at home, though, we are going to mix it up. These are fully randomized teams for 3 sets of soccer. Although at this point, I think everyone's pretty excited to play as they do seem equally skilled in this competition.
Honestly, that was a lot closer than I expected.
Yeah.
It's clear that I think compared to when they gave us the info that, hey, like most of us haven't played SLS, they put in some work to go into it. And even throughout the game, really, I think built into it.
Yeah, very impressive teamwork, some amazing passes, some on-point shots. And like you said, Mimi, it really looked like it was over in the first couple of minutes for the away team, but the home team pulled off the unthinkable.
You guys got
Good for
any
them.
MVPs from that first round?
Boy, it started off strong, and I would say Dud setting a good pace for that one in the beginning.
Couple
Was
good
a big
goals from
score
him.
of those goals. Yeah, we saw a strong start, but again, unfortunately, his team did fall a little short in the end. But really a good player. Again, Death Eagle showing again that he truly is a strong competitor in this game, and I think we're going to see him excel in a broad array of games today. He has a very serious track record of being one of the best. So we'll see if he can keep that up today. Nerves is a big part of today.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do think these early games are a good way to just get comfortable on the stage, feel things out, especially a team game like this. It's a little easier to just be a part of the group, feel a little bit more together than the competitors than just every single win being about making a step up ahead of them.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely takes a lot of pressure off you. You know, you're not just out there on your own. And just to go back on my favorite player for the game, I think was
Please.
Shafe at the goal.
Yeah, I have to
Really
agree.
made some clutch saves.
I mean,
Love-
his team has a lot of him. He had to protect that goal
Yeah.
so many times in the first 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
then he's one of the guys that hit the penalty kick at the end, too,
Yeah.
to bring things home.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the mental game in these competitions. It's a long day with a lot of competition. You got to not let yourself get down. I know there's a handful of folks back there who are going to be feeling the burn of a loss here, and not as high of a fashion score as they'd like. But it's never over. Again, qualifying from some of the other games, it just doesn't matter. Put it behind you. You got to keep the attitude. Momentum can't destroy you. You got to let yourself turn it around here. So, fantastic start from the folks here. I look forward to a day of good games ahead of us.
And I do as well. It seems like the players are just about to get into our second game, just picking their teams. Reminder, things are getting scrambled up a little bit. We'll have different players on the home and away. So an opportunity for any of these players to put another 20 points on their board, as it looks like the players just hopping into the lobby now. We get underway for our second round of Super League
Come on,
Soccer.
Death Eagle.
And in the center field, Duddy Dud and Roby, the ones to kick this off.
After that first game, I'm really excited now.
Yeah, we'll see who can shine here. Again, and if they can keep their form strong here, again, we're seeing a lot of deep passes, but a hard cluster of all the players. Really want to keep that spread. All right, here we go. Our first breakaway. Do they have the stamina to go across the board here? The home team could come into a strong initial lead.
Flicks too wide to the left, and Duddy misses that shot out to Icy. A tough one there.
Yeah, and that's not going to stick there. Icy playing goalie this round, switching it up from offense in the last one. He's going to be the anchor man to stop those points from being scored.
You get that slide tackle every 3 seconds. Got to be precise when you're trying to steal the ball. Poke, a chance
right.
for him against
Lots of
Icy
stamina.
again.
Full
Right
breakaway.
side, it's too high.
Ooh.
Oh, he nearly had another chance as well.
Taken by the goalie,
out of the
Icy.
way.
Great
Yeah.
work.
Good work by the goalie. You got to catch that. You got to get them, charge them down, get the ball. If they're within the goal zone here, you have the power. Make sure to capitalize on that and ensure you don't let them get again. But wow, the home team unrelenting on offense here. I don't think away teams even had a shot on goal yet, while the home
They
team has
haven't
had
really.
full control
Nice.
the entire
Nice
time.
cross.
Yeah, good spin there, using those abilities wisely.
Nearly there. Icy saves it at the last second.
Gosh, Icy is just the ice wall here, not letting anything get in.
Another pass in. They just keep going. Poke, third chance of the game. This time ends it.
Sticks. I mean, that is unrelenting here. Good work from Poke Dragon. I mean, they're going to have to step it up here. You can't rely on Icy this hard to just stop every shot here. We've already seen 5, maybe more shots on goal here. One was bound to go in.
But every kickoff, another chance. Roby in possession, and for the first time, a bit of offense going. The Death Eagle has possession, switches back towards Max. Goal somewhat open, but the defenders do well, and they push it back the other way.
Yeah, all right here. Can this happen for
There's
the
Poke
away
again.
team? As again, they lose control of this ball so fast. Okay, here we go. We got a breakaway here finally.
Great
for our away
cross.
guys. Oh, and look at that.
Amazing
Players
cross
down the
pass.
field. They are ready. No
Here we go,
offsides in
Roby.
this one. Roby, time to shine. Pull it back for the team.
Nice
Yes,
fake.
and look at that cross up. That is what you want to do. You want to bait one direction for the goalie, make them use the dive, and then switch real hard, real fast back to this side of the goal.
I saw somebody on chat earlier asking Roby to lock in, and it looks like he read the chat and sure did.
Yeah, Roby
goal.
is, again, a master gamer and a developer on his own. He knows every element of the Roblox world, creation as well as playing. Wonderful stuff.
Roby, one of those players who said he had never played SLS before qualifying to this event. Clearly learns quickly. You got to in this competition. Roby
Yes.
again in possession. Chance for back-to-back goals from this man. Can he make it happen? Defenders on him. A pass back wide towards
Oh.
mid, but possession changes over to Lime. Steal again. Roby might have it back here. Death Eagle, no, stolen. They keep
Amazing.
getting so close, but the defenders doing well here from home.
Yeah, Poke Dragon doing a good job here, actually shining in this game too here, coming to play for the home team. Wow,
a
that
long
goal.
Wow.
Wow.
Through 4 or 5 defenders, the Death Eagle threads the needle. The one European at this event. You know, you'd think maybe a bit more of an expert on soccer. No, he was asked his favorite team. Said a Lithuanian basketball team.
Oh,
Still
there we
showing up
go.
in soccer regardless.
Yeah, good to see some life out of the away team here, who now pulls ahead 2-1, which just shows you it's not about the shots on goal, it's about shooting accurately here.
Okay, got a little fancy.
Here we
there
go
for no
again,
reason.
Roby.
Oh man, Roby showing he came to play in soccer.
Oh,
Whoa!
chase
It's
it
the
over
short
his
guy from the
goalie.
goalie.
That's
Another goal
brutal.
from
He dove
Roby.
just past the ball. Nearly made that save. Bit of a heartbreaker for Shafe.
That's his
Yeah.
second goal. Can he get a hat trick this game?
Yeah,
That would be impressive.
I know their team now up 3-1, just like that. What was looking as a rough scenario for the away team to start this is suddenly on fire. Home
good
team's got to
pass.
channel up what they were doing at the start of this and see if they can get that offense flowing. Oh gosh, and a missed pass.
Is this another opportunity? No. Goalkeeper's just going to take it and push it back down the middle of the pitch.
All right, we'll see here. Things get a little quieter here as the teams kind of cluster. Can they get the breakaway?
Here's another opportunity for the Death Eagle.
Shoot,
Shoot,
Shot
shoot.
left.
Wow.
It's
Oh, and he's
Oh,
there.
nice save.
Shafe. He's so impressive on the goalkeeper.
Yes, yeah. Great job keeping my goal coming from the first game.
Yeah, that last second save here. Again, you don't want to be staring down the Death Eagle with this soccer ball. He comes fast and furious.
Man, Shafe is on point today. That's another save.
Yeah, the goalies are doing a good job in this game. Offense is pretty unrelenting in Super League soccer. So you got to be on it. Here we go.
Icy, this is your chance, and unfortunately, Duddy Dud just better in that position. A great bait out from him, and that should tie this game back up.
Yeah, you know, it's hard. You can't blame the goalie in that situation. When you've got a one-on-one with that much time, it
Yes.
should be the offense's ball here. You need a defensive player to be there with you.
And that's the issue. We've seen a lot of these teams clumping heavy for the offense, and that can work well, but sometimes you take risks with that. You have no defenders, and your goalie gets kind of left out to dry.
Yeah. All right, closing into a minute left here. The score is 2-3, and again, anyone's game. I'm shocked. No blowouts happening here in soccer. We are seeing fierce competition. And can the away team pull it back? No, they lose it.
Oh, they have it back, though.
They
Lime has a
returned it.
good pass. Goes a little wide to Duddy Dud. Off this left side, it's a...
And can the pull it back? No, they lose it.
Oh, they have it back, though.
They
Lime has a
returned it.
good pass. Goes a little wide to Duddy Dud. Off this left side, it's a tough angle to get a shot through,
Oh,
and the
that's-
pass is
yeah.
not in
Ole.
time.
Beautiful. You need that from your defenders there. A strong offense. Force the pass. Force them into the corner.
Oh, Roby, a shot maybe here. Can he get dove on in time?
Oh,
Pass
nice
back
pass
to
to himself. Oh,
You see that attempt of the self-assist backboard into a sliding kick. He almost had that pulled
very
off.
smart move.
Yeah.
Jay just missed that slide.
Dud might go for his second goal in a row.
Here's his 1v1 against the
Tying
goalie.
it up.
Left side.
Hey, he ties
Oh, Duddy Dud lands it again. He's on fire this game.
Yeah, quick, short shot. The goalie wasn't ready for it. Overshot the dive and could not get the defense. We are closing in to a potential tie on another 30 seconds remaining in this round.
I mean, you could see the two forwards on the team, each with 2 goals. A
Oh,
great
good you did
choice in their
again.
position.
All right. What are you focusing now? You think you want to play defensive or go all out here in the last 30 seconds knowing you've got a tie game?
You got to go on the offense.
Yeah,
Duddy Dud knows it.
These are the best players in the world.
yeah, it's true. Go for that win. Don't risk it in the free shots. You don't want to have free kicks.
Lime wants his chance here. Poke Dragon keeping possession for home. Is there anyone to receive that? Up front, Duddy Dud.
The striker.
Could he close it out?
The
Back
striker
to back,
for
the goal.
Bloxicola.
Oh,
Barely misses out. And with only a few seconds left, it goes back down the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, that was a hard, low probability goal there, but the ball's moving down.
And it's overtime.
And it's over. Again, another tie into the free kicks. Let's see what we got here.
Poke Dragon
Intense.
baiting out.
Oh, that was
Great
a
movement,
strong
Pokey.
bait. Pulls the goalie completely out with a whiff dive and gets an easy tap in. Death Eagle here. Let's see if he can continue his streak. And boom, that is that patented crossover from the Death Eagle. He has got a good look here. Really baits goalies well.
He makes it look
Team's
easy.
Good
Yeah,
on
he
these
does.
goals. Chafe, the goalkeeper, hero of the first match. He's good again.
Mm.
2 goals in a row for home.
Yeah, you can see they've really developed a better strategy here, going again in overtime. They've all had some practice.
Man,
Oh, they definitely learned from game 1. No one is missing.
Ooh, and
Nice
Icicle
save, though.
misses one there. That's a
Yeah.
little rough. The goalie finally coming out here, not as warmed up as the rest of the players.
oh, he had a chance for redemption, but Duddy Dud sneaks it by. 3 goals landed in a row.
Yeah, this could be time for them to really shut this down. If this goalie pulls off this defense. Oh, and he does. This is now a dangerous
Shame.
scenario. Do or die.
Shea far and away looking like the strongest goalie today.
All
Definitely.
right, if he puts this in, it's game over.
Icy, tough position, can't save it.
Wow.
4
Just
goals
like
landed,
that.
and that's
And it is
game.
over.
Home team.
All right, so we got on this team, Antarel, Death Eagle. I don't know if I saw the names here, but we're going to see it shortly after the judges tally up some scores. We will go back to the board and show you guys where the standings are. But here are our players here fantastic performance from everyone. Some spirits higher than others.
Shafe only got 16 points in DTI, but thus far, he's won both matches here in Super League Soccer, and is starting to compete with some of those top players now. Goes to show there's always time to come back here.
Yeah, and again, you're never out here. Again, we've got many games on our way on what is a crazy Roblox octathlon today. But let's see those scores from match 2.
All right, so a couple players undefeated here. Lime, Shafe as well as Poke Dragon are all looking good there. But Lime and Shafe, the 2 members to win both matches back-to-back in Super League Soccer.
You know, when the folks needed that, I'm seeing a lot of the current leaders on the loss for that round. So that means the points are swinging back to the folks who need it most. An impressive display here on round 2.
Yeah, those guys trying to go 3-0 into this third round if they even can end up on the same team. Again, it's randomized every time of how these teams lay out. So we'll wait for the players to shuffle back in and have one last round here in Super League Soccer. I'm liking the development we're seeing throughout. I think they did a much better job this time of setting up for some of those passes, especially the home team.
Absolutely, yeah, the whole team. I mean, leading as striker, scored 3 goals that game, along with Shafe's amazing saves. Definitely deserved that win.
Yeah, you're going to be happy to have either of those guys on your team going into the last round. Still some players who have yet to take home a game here in Super League Soccer. Icy, Poke Dragon, those guys definitely have the pressure on them as we head into this final round.
Yeah, they'll need it because they had such a strong showing in that first round here. To fall in Super League Soccer is a little rough. But hey, it's a whole day of competition ahead and not the last chance here. Well, folks, this was an exciting one. Super League Soccer has been a wonderful game here. Some fun facts about Super League Soccer.
Please.
It is one of the top sports games on Roblox. And actually, the governing body of soccer for North America, Central America, and the Caribbean actually released a mascot through Super League Soccer specifically. That was their major announcement. So it's exciting to see these actually large governing bodies using Super League Soccer as a way to talk to their fans and do some major releases. So it is a legitimate and recognized game in the world of soccer.
And up there with some of the iconic Roblox games we're playing today, the super classic ones like the way we're ending, of course, with Tower of Hell. This is a relatively new game, but it's definitely taken off very quickly. Similar vibe to Dress to Impress.
Correct.
Let's take a look back and see some of the highlights from that second game. It was a very exciting one here, NU.
Yeah, taking a look here. I can't tell whose costume that is, but there's
That's
Roby.
Roby.
Yeah, Roby coming in strong at the beginning with 2 goals, right? So unfortunately, he has not won a game.
Yeah, that is painful to see. Such strong individual play here, but could not actually eke out the win. Look at another breakthrough, and that goal was beautiful.
That was beautiful. I love that one.
Yeah.
You got to feel bad for Shafe there. He dove just past the ball. Almost had that one.
To get past Shafe, I mean, it's not an easy task, so Roby's 2 goals are very impressive.
Yeah, Duddy Dud as well. I mean, I feel like we can't say enough good things about him in this one. He's looked so good on that offense.
Yeah, definitely needs to continue playing the striker for the next game.
Yeah, we've got some good stuff here. Maybe we can learn a little bit more about our players here as we're
please.
taking a brief pause here to get our next game ready. I know they've come from a lot of different places all over the world, or some are from around the world, some from Canada, and a handful of them all from here in America.
Yeah, I believe we have a Canadian, and then we have one guy, the Death Eagle, coming from Lithuania. Everyone else here is living in America. We have a Korean American as well, born in South Korea. So a pretty diverse group of guys here from different places around the world and around the country to come out and compete today.
Yeah, we had some fun stuff. The Death Eagle on camera right there, you know, a really impressive player. Not only did he come all the way from Lithuania, he actually turned 18 on the plane ride over 2 days ago, which is required for this competition. So we were excited to see that. That was fate. What did you do on your 18th birthday?
You mean yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. That's right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no one does, but I bet you didn't compete for $1 million. So that is an exciting twist on an 18th birthday that a lot of us don't get a chance to do.
No, I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous of these guys.
Yeah, well, I think they put in the work, and it's paying off here. Nothing like a couple thousand hours of real playtime dedicated and focused on the skill. And really, the competition itself, the hunt, was a wild competition.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the qualification? Because it was very different than how we're actually playing the games here today. A lot more about solving puzzles and having to do some really challenging stuff to make it through.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing through 25 events, these contestants, as well as 100+ million, had to compete over solving intricate puzzles, solving clues, solving tests, and actually dealing with a handful of missions across all of these games. The competition took over a week and hours of gameplay, and it was really a collective thing. We had some pretty master puzzle solvers build these internally, including a handful of PhDs within the company who specialize in puzzle algorithms. And what's wild about that, some of our top players here actually completed those puzzles over twice as fast as the PhD
That's so
masters
wild.
internally at Roblox who helped construct them and peer tested with each other. So really like unfathomable talent when it comes to completing complex puzzles.
Yeah, I think it's so cool as well. Some of the different backgrounds. A guy like Icicle here, he's native to the area, grew up in the Bay, but he went to college for robotics, and he said like one of his biggest hobbies is like web puzzles, is riddles, is trying to solve challenges like that. As I imagine, looking at robotics would be a similar thing there as well. So pretty cool that he got to cash in on that skill set, but now gets to show a pretty different one with actually playing a competitive game and coming out here. All these guys have had different backgrounds. They've obviously played a ton of Roblox, but for most of them, this is going to be one of their first times playing an in-person competitive event like this, and certainly will be the biggest one any of these guys have ever played.
I like that you guys just gave out some facts about where the players are from, because now the chat is going to supporting their home countries with Lithuania, the US, and Canada, along with Team Bloxy Cola or the Witcher's Brew. So a lot of competition in the chat as well. Very exciting.
Yeah, we have 2 Canadians as well. Poke Dragon hailing from Saskatchewan, and then another player in here, Anonymous Lime, coming over from Ontario as well.
I'm rooting for Canada.
Yeah?
Canada. That's
I
where
am
you're
also
living right
from
now,
Canada.
and yeah.
Yeah.
The folks don't know.
First time revealing it.
Okay. Now we know.
No one could ever guess. I imagine, are you rooting for Lime then, another guy from Ontario?
I am rooting for, honestly, I'm rooting for Roby. I think he
Okay.
deserves some points in this competition. He's been doing really well, scoring the goals, so I hope to see him win the next game.
Yeah, a lot of our players, when they talked about their expertise, I would say the most common games they told us was Tower of Hell. Tons of Obby players, you heard it in the intro.
Yeah.
And Rivals as well, our penultimate game, the first-person shooter arena game there. So for a lot of these guys, it's a matter of being great and being confident in the later stages of the tournament, but you still need to make it there. There's 10 players in this competition. 6 are going to get eliminated in this qualifying round. And even then, you have to play a driving game before you even get to some of the ones you're going to be the most comfortable with. And even when you are there, it's going to be the highest pressure you've ever felt playing those games.
Yeah, as a reminder from the folks at home, we are a couple minutes, or hopefully seconds away from our final game of Super League Soccer, and this will be the first time we progress a player. So the first rounds of this are going to be a progression-based, as you heard from us earlier, but just a reminder for the folks just tuning in here, we're going to be closing out one more match of Super League Soccer, and we will progress our first player who will be in the top 4.
Our players that we're looking at to be the most likely to make it here are going to be Death Eagle, 66 points, Jay, 63, and Dudidud at 60 points as well. Those are the front runners right now. Remember, a win in Super League Soccer gives you 20 points. There's no bonus points for being the best goalkeeper, being the best person who's going offensive and actually hitting those shots into the goal. So it comes down to how well your team can do. And let's say all those guys ended up on the same team. It would be the Death Eagle, thanks to his great performance in DTI, who would be the first qualified member.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's
Only
right.
for this round.
Only for this one, and then no more teams.
Free for alls.
Then the friendships end. But yeah, the top 9 are within 20 points of each other. So again, it is anyone's game. You definitely want to get that win here and secure your spot early on in this competition.
That you do. For some context, one of our players is having an issue with their headphones. We have our admins looking into it right now and working through that issue. We'll give you more updates as soon as they're available. We do want to make sure that everyone has properly working equipment and the field is perfectly fair before we start another round with stakes as high as this.
So for anyone at home wondering why we're yapping, that's why.
Very concise, thank you.
That's true.
All right, well, it seems like we are still going to be waiting just a bit to get into that one. So why don't we go ahead and check in with our correspondents, Geach and Sabrina. How you guys doing? What do you think of Super League Soccer thus far?
Oh my gosh, we screamed whenever Roby hit the ball right over Shape. We were actually back here screaming. That was really intense. That match was amazing. I actually haven't watched a gameplay of Super League Soccer, so I thought that was like really entertaining.
Yeah, and I'm not a big sports girly myself, but that move, like my heart is still pounding from some of these moments. I've been in here taking notes, like it's that real. Really impressed by Death Eagle, watching all of this gameplay. I mean, I don't have the coordination. You'll hear me say that a lot today. I don't have the coordination for something like that, but I feel like I've been literally watching like the World Cup or something just on the screen via Roblox. It's so cool. Like, it's amazing. It's been so fun to watch back here. I know
I
everybody.
have a fun fact for you.
Oh, yeah?
About the World Cup, by the way. Super League Soccer hosted an in-game integration with FIFA for the launch of the Club World Cup trophy, which is taking place in America this summer.
Rightfully so, because look, I mean, you would think that I was out here in South America screaming from the streets the way I've been hollering back here. I'm surprised.
She's not kidding. I'm just like,
Yeah, I hope I don't scare you. Like,
no,
please,
you didn't.
Bring me
This
back.
has been very entertaining.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. Who do you think so far? Who have you been impressed by so far? The most?
I am rooting for Roby, Death Eagle.
Yeah.
I really liked Jay in Dress to Impress. Yeah,
Jay has some good looks.
Yeah.
In Dress to Impress.
And Death Eagles, obviously, the last one was the really
the
good.
the ice princess fairy.
The two-wing thing was
Right.
very
Yeah.
impressive.
That was a good technique. It's always good in Dress to Impress to try and see how you can layer your stuff to make it look more, exciting and more fancy, more cutesy, more demure. I'm not good at that at all. That's not my thing. I'm not a fashion girly. As you can see.
Shall we take a look at what the chat is saying?
Yeah, let's see. What's the chat saying
All right,
today?
chat. Who do you think is going to win this next match? Let's see what they all say.
When we came in, I saw a lot of people rooting for Death Eagle, which I can understand why after seeing
I've been seeing a
that
lot of
gameplay
Shafe as well.
Yeah,
a lot of
let's
fans
see.
of Shafe, Death Eagle, Chicken
Eagle.
Jockey. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Blocks Fruits. Yes, Blocks Fruits is a great game.
Blocks Fruits.
Okay.
Lithuania. We've got some Lithuania. Okay.
It looks like the chat is enjoying this, though. Go ahead and hit the like if you are watching.
All right, so Sabrina, if your avatar in Roblox had a soccer celebration, what's that gonna look like?
Oh my gosh. It's probably gonna be sort of like a big galaxy explosion.
I can understand. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and kick it back over to our casters so we can get this last match started for Super League Soccer.
All right, folks, we are back here. We've got hopefully we are closing in on the opening of this last match here, but a couple more seconds for you to enjoy the soothing sounds of our voices with our faces. It's a wonderful thing.
We just stare at Jay Party's beautiful face.
Yeah, that's the real stall content. For some context, viewers at home, they're still sorting out some of these tech issues, making sure the monitors and the headsets for one of our contestants is working perfectly. I pulled up some trivia for you guys. You guys are Roblox experts,
no.
right? Would you consider yourself such?
Yeah, absolutely. A historian.
Would you consider him an expert?
Yeah, and you is, regardless of his opinion on it, he is a master of all things
Don't
knowledge.
put me on the spot.
All right, I'm going to ask some questions. Just slap the desk to buzz in. This one should be easy. What year was Roblox officially released to the public?
2006.
Here you go.
I'm going to say 2006.
Ding, ding, ding. Good
Yes.
job, NU. That's the first point to you. Another year
Ding, ding,
question.
ding.
What year did Roblox introduce the ability to create and sell game passes?
Okay, I know this one. Some
Go
of the
ahead.
birth of the expansion of our developer program. I believe it's 2012.
You're correct.
What 20?
Another one. This one about number of players. And chat, you guys should play along too. Write in chat who you think this is. See how well you know Roblox. Which game on the Roblox platform holds the record for the most visits as of 2024?
Brookhaven. Dress to Impress.
It's probably the wrong answer, but I'm going to say Blocks Fruits.
Incorrect.
That's
That is
2023.
correct. I'm curious. I'm going to give the folks on the chat a couple seconds to respond here. I think they know this one, and it is a surprising favorite amongst the
Rails.
roleplay community, if I know correctly,
Adopt me
because I do love numbers, and that is
How are they doing, NU?
Yours.
Brookhaven.
That chat?
Those are
Yeah,
not
what they
bad.
get. They get it right. The answer, I believe, is Brookhaven. Brookhaven.
The chat is still rooting for the players.
RP.
Yeah, I said
Well,
that.
still rooting for players.
Brookhaven.
Good for them.
Yeah,
That's what they
absolutely.
should be doing. I love to see that passion coming out. All right, another historic question. What was the original name of Roblox before it was officially launched?
Oh, this is a fun one. Dude, the folks, this is a good one for
Block.
chat. I wonder if they do know this one.
Yeah.
I might even be wearing those socks. Oh, no, wait, I'm not. We didn't.
Wait, why? Wait,
different ones.
what is
I believe it was called Dynablocks.
You're correct.
Dynablocks was the original, and it was a physics
invites
simulator at
me
the very
to-
start here. It
why
was a
is
pretty
TikTok
impressive little
inviting
creation
me?
here to kind of demonstrate
Why
science
is
and
it
physics to kids
inviting me
and
to
everyone around the
Russian?
world to kind of learn. It turns out if you allow logic into a block, you can pretty much make any game the world has seen.
Yes.
And that's kind of the origin, I think, of all video games. And we saw it here in Roblox kind of evolving over the
crazy.
years from the old world of
Nice.
Dynablocks into the Roblox we have today. Full-fledged game engine. So, for the folks at home, we're waiting. Go ahead, open studio, start publishing your own experiences, and find out what it means to create and build some of the coolest things
Yeah.
around in the world.
What experience do you guys have with actually building games? Have you spent any time in the creation studio and tried that out much?
Yes, actually, I have. I went through a tutorial with some of the developers here at Roblox. They went through A simple one for me, but they threw out some terms that was very complicated. I did not retain any of that information. So whoever can make games in Roblox are very smart.
It's so impressive what people actually put together and how much work it takes. I know you get to work with the devs on a day-to-day basis. Must be special to see what creative things people put together in this Roblox game.
I do, and it is fascinating to know our developers from around the world. They are incredible folks who do awesome and wonderful things, but they're also good people. I think that's such a fun part of Roblox. A lot of our creators are building things they want to play, they want to create. It's both a hobby and a profession for them, so we see incredible stuff.
Yeah, and for this tournament as well, we had to ask a lot of developers to change things up about their games and make modifications for this tournament, and it seems like everyone was pretty willing to do that as well.
All right, folks, so here's the deal. We are trying to ensure this is a fair competition as much as possible, and I believe we're ready to get back in it. But to solve some of this out, we're going to be removing the headsets for this next round of Super League Soccer here to ensure it is an even playing field for all 10 of our players. And guess what? I think they're on the pitch.
It's going to be new teams, a new look, and a last chance to make it. 2 players competing for that top spot. Duddy Dud and Death Eagle. One of them will be able to be the first making it through. That or 3J, who's going to be on the same team here. Mad Max in possession, sends it up. Good pass, but a little too wide. No one super well in position to receive. Another pass going back. Chance for a goal, and it's not in. Shafe again on the defense,
Shafe
and you.
once again.
Yeah, almost bobbles the ball from the goalie there. Thankfully, he recovers that, and it is out of there. Another chance for another play.
I feel like I'm watching a World Cup.
I'm looking for Roby.
Yeah.
Which team is he on?
A crowd favorite, again, without a win under his belt and maybe the most goals on the field. Hopefully, Rovi gets his big break soon.
He's going to be back on the green team there, joined by Duddy Dud. Jay as well, rocking with the home team.
Indeed, indeed. Again, a little slower of a start here. No one really securing those quick goals in this third game here. I'm sure the defense is starting to shore up and understand the strategies from all the players.
Good defense from Lime. A new person stepping into the goalkeeper position.
That's true. This is the first time with Lime here, and I know they discussed briefly beforehand who would be the goalie as they need to rotate that with their new teams.
Wow.
The quick
Looks like a lot of
turnovers
fouls there, but nothing being called. What is happening?
Where's the referee? Those slide tackles are not coming in from the correct angle.
It is vicious in this game. The only way to change possession other than a missed pass is to just go for those slide tackles. Not going to get the red card.
Oh, and definitely, this is that. Oh, not in the sweet spot. I know they try to put it just out of the goal box here. Definitely a specific strategy tied to SLS, and that's what you got to understand here with the best players in the world. Understand the mechanics perfectly.
Wait, I'm not even playing it live. Just realized that.
First minute, it has passed, and we are still 0-0. Lowest scoring by far.
So guys. What is going on here? Alright, I'm gonna go on mute because I don't know why. I'm tired in case someone comes in or whatever. So we're basically just gonna keep watching and all that. I'll talk when I want to though. Keep playing.
Really,
I'll react when I need to react.
I know we've talked a lot about his skill in so many competitions. If anything, the players maybe need him to get out now. Give other people a chance here, as he has demonstrated he has a strong fortitude for a broad array of game types.
It is truly a luxury to qualify this early. But it seems like there is a bit of a technical problem with the match. For competitive integrity, the admins have made the decision to reset this game. So forget what you saw in that one. We're resetting to where we were. With 2 games finished on Super League Soccer, 1 yet to play. We want to ensure that with stakes is high, everything is perfectly competitively fair for our players. So they're making that call. We'll get you guys back into game with the proper third match as soon as possible when that technical issue is sorted.
All right, well, it wouldn't be a sporting event without something to solve in the physical world. So we're going to get that resolved here, folks. Thankfully, that was a much slower game here. Defense was really dominating that one. Not a lot of hard breakaways. So, you know, it is what it is, but still an exciting day of competition. So while the team figures that out, we're going to talk about a couple other things here. Maybe get to know some of our players. Maybe some fun facts about the folks competing today. As you can see behind me a little bit on the screen here, they each have a color. That is the player's corresponding color. So as we go about the day, their outfits will be marked with that so you can understand who they are.
And it matches the monitor back there, so you can kind of reference the face to the player as well of who the real person is repping that Roblox avatar.
And they've got their outfits to match here, a very stylish way to identify folks and keep it cohesive. So very cool stuff.
Indeed it is. It looks like they also have pretty jackets as well with their names that are matching up for this event. And you.
Yeah, can I get one of those after this is done? Or just steal it off their backs. I like those jackets.
Well, don't let him in the player room. He's going to just start pickpocketing people for jackets.
If somebody wins the $1 million, they could afford to give me their jacket.
I want to see if we could take another look at those points maybe, because we're starting to get to the point, like we were talking about, where the first player is going to qualify their way into things. And every time you win at Super League Soccer, you get 20 points. You see it thus far for Shafe and Duddy Dud. But the overall standings right now have the Death Eagle and Jay and Duddy Dud as the top 3 players. So basically, if any one of those players is to win this next round and they don't have someone with more points than them on the team, that's basically their ticket into the top 4. So definitely important things to look at and important players to keep watch on as we get into this final round of Super League Soccer.
Exciting times. But don't worry, after that, we're going to be playing some blade ball. We're going to be playing some slap battles. And of course, doors to round out this progression system in the first set.
I want to ask you guys, we got a lot of games today. What are you most excited to watch?
My favorite on the list is definitely Blade Ball, and that's coming up next, so I can't wait to see that.
Why do you like it so much?
I like that it's fast-paced, action-packed, and not a lot of teamwork because I'm not into that. I like individual competition, so I like to see that bring out their fierce competitor in these players. So I think that would be very exciting. A lot more shouting in the back, probably.
Yeah, Blade Ball is an exciting game of reaction speed. You know, I'm pretty excited for Rivals myself. I know we've talked to a lot of these players. Rivals is one of their favorites, but I think as just an internal employee, we play a lot of Rivals. It's actually how promotions are decided within Roblox. Fun fact here. So always ensure you're on a team where you're better than your boss at Rivals.
How do I apply?
I know.
That sounds like a great job.
You'd love it. So that's going to be a real exciting thing to hear.
I think I have to agree on Rivals. When I was prepping for this event, I played all the games, and I gave myself like a good few hours to practice them all, and I think I spent half the time just playing Rivals. Because I got a win streak going, and I was like, I can't stop now. It's really addictive. I love how the movement has so much skill expression in it. You can really go back and forth with the slides. You can out-movement your opponent in a lot of ways. And with that main AR only having 20 bullets, precision, movement, it's all super important. So a super fulfilling game to play, and one that even for players that hadn't played it before, I think a lot of them had the same feeling we did, that it was one of those games that just gets you hooked once you start playing.
Yeah, high adrenaline, high-paced play, and a fun competitive mode to boot. It's really got the perfect recipe.
Looks like it's 2-1, Rivals versus Blade Ball. I want to see what the chat says. Let us know what your favorite games are on here today.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of them. You know, in the meantime, I think we might just toss it over to our correspondence team. I know they've had some time to think, some time to talk. What's going on over there?
Hello, J Party. We are just talking about our experience in this event ourselves, right, Geach?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not good at any of these games. So I already know my strengths, and I just, when the hunts start, I do my thing. I jump in. I just kind of like dibble and dabble here and there, nothing too serious. But Sabrina, you actually had a chance to, you got all the tokens, right?
I got all the mega tokens. I did. I think I did a total of 19 hours streaming live. It's not as long as some other people. However, I did have the help of the community, so I had a little bit of a people helping me through.
W community. Which would you say was the most challenging game?
Oh my gosh, definitely Pressure. I literally, there's a clip of me screaming. I'm like, no, like because I tried for 4 hours straight before I beat it. Yeah.
What?
So I got the mega token after like 4 hours. Yeah. They did nerf it though, so.
Did they nerf it before or after you got the mega token?
After.
Of course.
After.
Because that's how it goes. That's what happens. And so when you were working through that, did you have your community helping you with that as well, or were you just gunning
and they're in there just giving me moral support because I was literally just doing the same thing over and over and dying over and over. Yeah.
And you didn't.
But I became a pro by the end. Like I felt like my last run was so good. I should upload it as a video.
You definitely should, because after 4 hours, Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put it out there for the people to see. So how did you actually what was your intro to Roblox? How did you get into Roblox?
I started in 2017. I had a gaming channel already. People were, commenting, you should try Roblox, you should play Roblox. I actually played it with my little brothers at first. And then I was like, this is kind of cool. There's so many games. And just, within like that year, we became Roblox exclusive. DJ and I. My boyfriend, who also is part of the channel, Terabyte Games.
Shout out to DJ. Yeah, so similar to me as well. I actually started because of my children. Hi, children. Yeah, so it was one of those things, you know, where they kind of
Why do you
And-
like it so much?
I like that it's fast-paced, action-packed, and not a lot of teamwork because I'm not into that. I like
People, how
Russian in.
The folks competing to these folks are learning just as much as we are. Again, how they play, how they perform, what the strategies are. But
this
here's
could
the
be
first
doors.
so about that.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll talk more about that later.
We'll get to that later. But yeah, while we wait to get into that, we're gonna go ahead and get back to our caster so we can watch this last match of Super League Soccer. Thanks, guys.
All right. We are back again, folks, and hopefully we are getting through things here. We are just checking out what's going on in-game and hopefully testing the replacement equipment to ensure the playing field remains even.
Yeah, so it's going to be our third round of Super League Soccer. Reminder of the stakes. Our first player that qualifies to the top 4 double elimination rounds will be decided here. The player with the highest points at the end of our first round, or sorry, our final round of Super League Soccer will be that player making it through. So exciting stuff here. Yeah, let's talk about some of those guys who are going to be the focus here as well. And actually, we're ready to go. Let's get into the game. Enough yapping from us. Let's start this last match
Cannot
of Super
wait.
League Soccer. It looks like the players just getting their ready checks right now and getting set on the teams. I can't wait on you.
Enough yapping.
Yeah, and
Yap,
just to
yap,
go
yap.
back on a couple minutes ago, I
Yapatron.
asked the chats what their favorite game is, and it looks like the most popular answer is Doors. So
Okay.
all
Doors.
3 of us are wrong.
Doors is fun.
Yeah,
All
Doors
of
is
us.
great. So stay tuned, everybody. Doors is coming up really soon.
Yeah, Doors will be the deciding match in this one. But for now, the deciding match of this first session is underway as guess what? They're on the pitch. The players are ready. Let's get this kickoff here. Again, the final round of Super League Soccer. The first winner will be chosen here. And boy, you get a long break if you win this first cluster.
And our 2 strikers, the 2 center fielders, Dud.
Dud.
And of course on the other side, the Death Eagle.
Death Eagle.
Trying to compete to make it into that top 4.
Yeah, Dud showing he's not a dud in this game at all here. Doing a great job. I believe scoring our inaugural goal of the entire set here. See if he can do it again in this game.
Can I just make a prediction here? We got Dud. Oh!
I mean, he's not going to let you talk, and you Dud. Another goal. He started
Look
us
at
strong
that.
here, and he wants to qualify.
Hey, my answer has not changed. Definitely the away. They got Dud and Roby on the same team. 2 amazing strikers. I feel like they can pull this off.
Yeah, this is his chance. The Roby comeback here, he deserves it. He's been doing such a great job here. And look at this. The team gets the breakaway again. Can the away team do it?
Jay and the Death Eagle are 2 top players thus far on the same team here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, nearly another goal there. That would have tied the game, but not today. Death
Not
Eagle has it
today.
back in possession and will pass to his teammate off the side.
Ooh,
That pass was a little dangerous.
that
It
was
was.
a dangerous, the old crossover on your own goal
They're
there.
set up for another one, though. Pass back to the Death Eagle. Oh, he can't get it. Goes a little bit wide. No.
Oh,
He has
but
it
he
just
got
a
it.
nick of time.
Breakaway
Here's
through
his
the
shot. His
defenders.
chance. Death Eagle.
Oh,
Doesn't
whoa!
get
It
it.
looked
There,
like it
not
went
there.
in, but it didn't.
It was
It
very
did
close.
not. An attempt there, a little short. Not the Death Eagle's usual style of a cross goal. He kind of kept that one a little too short and easy, and they're able to recover it.
Wow, great teamwork there by the away team. A lot of amazing passes. Can
Oh,
they?
this-
Oh,
That's a scary spot. When you see the cluster just gathering on the net, it's hard to tell what's really going to happen there, and it's a good chance for the offense to get a score.
Looking at this match, on your home team, you have the Death Eagle with 66 points. On the other side, Dud has 60 points on the away team. If home or away wins, their respective top scoring player will be the first one qualifying. So especially for those 2,
Yeah,
this is
high
where their
stakes.
performance counts.
everyone must be really hungry for this win.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of commotion from the players in the back. Passions are high here. Oh,
Whoa.
slip and fall results in a quick goal there.
Dud.
That's 2 goals in a row for Dud.
The world's greatest striker.
The away team showing they came to play in this round here. Dud gets the 2 goals for his team so far. Off to a really strong start, but again, with 3 minutes remaining, we've seen major comebacks.
Dud is truly doing this for himself,
A
trying to
one-man
get himself
army.
in.
Yeah, again, his own breakaway. We'll see if we see that backboard shot. No, ooh, I like it. Baits in the defender a bit, but it's not enough. Jay gets the steal, and it's out.
Here's a chance at offense. This game has been all about our top scorers, but maybe a new member stepping up. Antarell needs to score some more points in this group stage, and with the help of Icy, here's his chance. Open goal. It's in. No.
No, it is not, but the chaos
Nearly.
continues here.
Nearly.
A dangerous spot, and they're going to get it out. I think that's the right move here. Just get some time to breathe. Death Eagle is a one-man army here
Great
on
movement.
offense.
Oh.
Antarell again takes possession. Passes
steals.
to Icy. That duo back at it again. Can they land it?
Oof.
No. Lime, good on the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an important goal to save there. You really want to keep your hopes alive here. 2 goals is nothing to catch up to. That third goal gets a little dangerous.
We proved it in our first game. It was an 0-2 comeback to make it to overtime there.
Yeah.
Great save by Anonymous Lime.
You're not going to get the charge down on the goalie there, hopefully. Ooh.
Oh, and
Wow.
another save.
Death Eagle cannot catch a break.
I know. He's trying his hardest here, but the offense has been rock solid for the away team.
It is really tough for Jay and Death Eagle here. They're going up against Shafe. He's been the best goalkeeper of the day.
Roby
Yeah.
went from an amazing striker to a great defender, really holding it down for the away team.
Yeah, and they need some of their best players there trying to play defense on the Death Eagle, who shows that he is unrelenting on offense.
And Terrell's done well. A couple key steals for him, but he's yet to actually get a goal off of it. Another steal, but it's back into the possession of the home team. And again, they steal it out of the clutches of the Poke Dragon.
Oh, and here's the
Great
breakaway.
movement.
Can he do it? His best shot at it yet. And it's easy peasy. Death Eagle keeping their hopes alive here. He is unrelenting on offense.
He wants to keep that first spot in the competition so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is important. It would be nice for him to get out early, get a little rest, stretch the fingers out, take a sip of water, and watch the rest of your competitors compete. Really see who the competition is going to be in the finals.
And it's just serendipitous that, again, it's Death Eagle and Dud on the kickoff together. Those two trying to make that qualification happen here. Dud back on the offense. No one defending but that goalie.
Not
However,
sure what that was.
home team's going to be a little ahead of it, and they'll pass back to the goalie safely.
Yeah. Easy exit, end that play. Oh, no, the goalie gets a missed kick.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Bit of a fumble there. Lime had his chance, tried to send it back up the middle, but a great position played in from Icy.
That was an actual mistake there from the goalie. Played it too short, and on a missed pass, it just comes right back to his team.
Same 2 players up at the kickoff.
Yeah. And
Okay,
again,
Dragon this
still
time.
down by 2 with a minute remaining. This is not over yet here. They're going to need to step up that offense as we see the Death Eagle again trying to get in position. Oh, but Dud plays it well. Slight delay allows him to break away with the ball.
Dud is still on the offense, even though they're up by 2. Oh, no, looks like he's killing time.
Yeah,
He's
he
doing
is
well
definitely.
at it. Down to 40 seconds. Tried to pass it out, but stolen by 3J at the last second. They need goals, and they need them quickly. 40 seconds to try and lock this up. But Antwell again, they're just
amazing
killing
defense.
time.
Yeah.
Lockdown defense by the away team.
Yeah, that was a big steal here. Very important stuff here.
Lime defends yet again.
All right, back down in the field. Another shot for offense. I think the Death Eagle needs a support player here. He can't do this again all on his
It is
own.
3-on-1, so
Stolen.
Oh,
man.
my
And Terrell
gosh.
with how many steals?
And Terrell really came through in the clutch here as defense. That was a 3-on-1 and manages the steal and ends the play.
And that's just not enough time left. Dud. This is his opportunity. If they can wane down these last few seconds, they'll lock this game up. And that's time.
They're just standing still now. It's over.
3-1, the away team. They take things home, and that's Dud. Our third place player heading into this round with 60 points. We'll claim 20 more, and that should be enough to put him ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. We're going to let our judges tally some of those points. In the interim, we're going to talk through some of the incredible things we just saw there as we bring to a close Super League Soccer, our only team event in the day here, working together to start because things are going to get fiercely competitive right after this.
They absolutely are. Really impressive stuff across the board from our players. I think my biggest takeaway players were honestly just the 2 stars. Dud and the Death Eagle were both looking excellent on the offense this game, but you can't forget Shafe and Lime, honestly, in that last round as well, holding things down at the goalkeeper.
And Terrell did great, played amazing defense there. But if I was Dud right now, I'd probably feel like the main character. That is just, I must feel on top of the world if I was him.
It's the game that mattered for him. He was just in that tight race to make it into the top 4. And that win there, of course, we have to officially tally it still, but that should be enough to push him across the line. And let's take a look at those scores and get official confirmation. And there it is. Dud takes home 40 points there from that one, but that's cumulative with their first points from DTI as well, where he had an additional.
Yeah, worth noting, Shafe, the only undefeated player in Super League today, holding it down with 60 points. You know, it's interesting. We didn't see as much of him on offense. He was a really strong defensive player and even a strong goalie.
Yeah, he had a pretty tough DTI as well. Only picked up 16 points in that round, but bounced back here in Super League.
Yeah. And that's a big opportunity for the comeback, which means a lot of our scores have shifted dramatically. After this, we will do the full calculation and show you where we stand. And again, we will crown the first progression in our tournament. And that player is going to go take a nice break in the back room, put their feet up, sip some water, and watch the competition from there until we get to the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really cool stuff there. The competition, though, only going to continue to heat up. We have a lot more games in this qualification round, but while we wait again for that final tally, let's go ahead and check in with our correspondence team.
Hello. Thank you so much, Mimi. Geach, I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, do you call it soccer or football?
Honestly, Sabrina, it depends on whether or not I'm wearing socks. You see, if I have socks on my feet, I'm going to call it soccer because that just makes sense. But, if I'm barefoot, it's got to be football. It just makes sense. I mean, why I'm playing the game with no shoes on, we're not going to get into that. Maybe it was a wild night.
We're not going to tell her. We're not going to tell her.
No.
Okay, I have another question. Number 2, who do you think was the MVP today?
I'm not going to lie. It was different for me each round. So, the first round, I was really watching Icy. Icy's goalie work was insane. He was really going for it. Second round. First round, it was Death Eagle. Just straight out of the gate, just the juking and just ripping the ball and taking the shots. I was really impressed by Death Eagle all the way through. And then at the end, though, Daddy Dead came through and really just showed, I'm not here to play with y'all. This is a game, but I'm not playing with y'all today. I'm coming to win this $1 million.
I think Shafe also is putting on a very good game today.
Shafe definitely did a great job. Shafe's defense. Except we got to talk about the Roby shot. We got to talk about the Roby shot.
Somebody's got to clip that.
Listen, it's getting clipped and both of you are going to be forever immortalized in Roblox history. Not necessarily for the best reason, maybe, but Shave, great job regardless. I probably it would have gone the same way, real life or in Roblox for me.
I agree. All right, let's take it back to you. Thank you so much for answering those questions.
All right, folks, we are back again. Exciting stuff here as we draw to a close. The first 2 games, you saw it here, Dress to Impress and Super League Soccer, done and dusted. Now we're coming into our officially first contestant into our next round. Mimi, you want to let the folks know who it is?
Let's do it. After our first 2 games played, we have our first player advancing to the top 4. It's none other than Duddy Dud. Congratulations to him. He'll have a chance to step back, take a bit of a break before coming back for the top 4. He's already 1 step closer to that $1 million.
All right, incredible stuff. Duddy Dud really showed up with some fantastic scores in both of our first games. Let's see if we've got the leaderboard. We can pull it up and see the total scores of the day. Always fun to see where our players stand. Duddy Dud advancing, and I'll let you know his score was 80. So 4 points ahead of Shafe. And then a little bit of a stretch from the Death Eagle. But you see all top 5 of those players within 20 points, which means that game of soccer mattered.
It definitely made the biggest difference because if I remember correctly, Death Eagle was very far ahead in the first place.
He was the best player of DTI.
Right, yes.
And as we take a look back at some of the replays from Super League Soccer, we can think about some of the best players from it because Shafe, really, that guy, he went from 16 points in Dress to Impress to then rally back and win every single match of Super League Soccer. He was the only through line across our 3 victorious teams.
And here are Duddy Dud's goals for his last 3 matches. Incredible.
Yeah, showing it. He started the competition off in SLS making those goals, and he ended it making goals.
And there's the Death Eagle.
With games so close, 2 of them going into overtime, you got to feel a little bad for the Death Eagle because he was performing so well, but only managed to actually get the win in one of these. It goes to show that no matter how good you are, it always comes down to just your team and how good they are. Let's take a look at Duddy Dud's reaction. This is him feeling things out and getting that win there, and you see how excited he is when he found out he was progressing to the top 4.
Oh, man, that is awesome, folks. Well, there are still 3 spots left, folks, and I think we're getting ready to see it. And you want to tell us what game's coming up next?
Yeah, that's right. So with 3 spots left, no one's going to go down without a fight, though, definitely. I hope you're all ready for an absolute battle now because Blade Ball is up next.
Game 3, Blade Ball. There are 5 free-for-all matches. The goal is to deflect the ball and hit your opponents. Last one standing wins. The contestant with the highest cumulative score will advance to the round of 4. Here's the scoring for each match.
All right. We are getting ready for Blade Ball, and this is one of the hype games of the day, I will say. And you said it was a favorite of his, but I'll say it's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, so what should we be looking out for here today? Is there any strategies, anything like that we should get excited about as we are about to hop into our first match here, in you?
Fast reaction time. Who can click their mouse the fastest?
That's all it comes down to. And who can click it at the right time? Because you misclick there, you mess up, you don't have the block.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that part.
Yeah, and here we are. We're into our first match of Blade Ball. With Dud gone, it is just going to be 9 contestants competing for 3 spots. And you see how quick this gets going. A real back and forth rally here.
Oh, and there we go.
Wow.
You see how tough it is to react.
Yeah, the first player falls. And again, it's a quick game here. Slow to start with. Every hit speeds that ball up a little bit and a little bit more until we have the showdown at the end here.
By the way, guys, there are only 4 abilities unlocked in the Blade Ball match
Tell me about them.
So there is going to be Freeze, which freezes the ball until parried or until 5 seconds. There's Blink, which allows the user to teleport up to 3 times before the cooldown. Rapture, which unleash a ferocious upward slash. And of course, Pull, which pulls the ball towards you. Not sure if anybody wants to use that, but that could be an interesting strategy.
Yeah, you see there a couple players with one of those abilities you were talking about. Largely, you're just going to be spamming that left click and making sure you're blocking, making sure you get the timing down right. It is going so quickly. Our players clearly adept with the reaction time. Freeze in play. Ball
Looks
will
like
come
Freeze,
back going
yeah.
pretty quick onto Icy, and you see how fast it is out of that freeze.
Oh, misses it. Jumps and jukes himself there, throwing off his timing. Yeah, that's all it takes is a second. And that's why some of these abilities matter so much. Freeze, you'd think slowing the ball down matters, but you throw off the defensive timing, waste your block too early, and guess what? You're a sitting duck.
Yeah, it's actually, you'd think on hearing the ability that it would be more about using to protect yourself, but you're almost always going to be using it to grief other players and freeze it right before it hits them and screw up their kind of internal clock.
Yeah, and there's that hit. Another player goes down here, and we are getting to the finals here. Roby's still in it. Exciting stuff here. We'll see if he can come back in this one. Sure. And there's the rundown. We see it there, an elimination. A final approach, so strong of a strategy.
That was one of those strats you were talking about. We'll see it here again. The reaction time's impeccable. Death Eagle. Great from him, and it's a 1v1 against Antarel. This ball is only going to speed up. They run each other down.
Oh,
Antarel.
Antarel pulls it off.
Oh, there's one more left, though.
Oh,
Roby
yeah.
avoided being seen. And now he has this 1 versus 1.
He's been sneaky.
That he has.
I did not see him all match.
Roby,
They
the
run each other
powerhouse.
down.
Oh, the Rupture.
Very nice from Antarel. Great usage of all of those abilities there, and taking home our first of 5 rounds here in Blade Ball.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to see from the folks at home when you see that slight arc change, but it really comes down to a millisecond timing here. Anything matters to throw off your opponent, and it came down to that in a quick mistake from Roby. Gets him second place with that one.
Yeah, impressive for Antarel, the oldest player that we have in the competition today, still looking really on top of things in what is basically just a reaction time test in Blade Ball.
Yeah, I mean, reaction time plus good gaming chairs definitely makes a good difference here. So great job, Antarel. Amazing defensive player in Super League Soccer, and you can see that in his blocking abilities here in Blade Ball. So definitely translated well.
Yeah, he wins the first round there. That's going to be 15 points to him for winning that first round. And, you know, it wasn't a great DTI for him, but he won 2 games of Super League Soccer. He won this first match of Blade Ball. So he's starting to sneak up those standings real quick.
Absolutely. That's what matters. Can't lose spirit. This game is still very close. Looks like we've got some scores in here. Maybe we can check those out and let the folks at home know where we stand after that first game.
Yeah, Antarel, they're up top with 15. Roby, second place. The Death Eagle following along there as well. And whittles all the way down to 0 points with 3J. And the player unfortunately eliminated first in our opening round of Blade Ball.
As a player, though, I really like Death Eagle, always on the offensive, you know, very brave, showing off his quickness. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, but I like to see him keep that going in the next match.
But placements are still important in Blade Ball. Making a top 3 across, 4 or 5 of these games, or even less than that, is still going to be enough, even if you're not winning every single one.
Yeah, we are seeing that as well. It is tight race amongst the top. So anything matters, every win. Can't let yourself get down. Momentum, be darned. Come back and win it. And we're in here.
Here we go.
Match 2 of Blade Ball.
I'm looking at 3J here. I want a redemption run for him. He went out first in that opening round. Here's his chance to do a little bit better here. And thus far, he's mainly eluded the ball. Nice defense from him. And he's going to get into a bit of a rally early on.
Yeah, playing with that delay. Use those abilities now. Let folks kind of hopefully screw up their timing at the base level here. Knock out some of the good players with a surprise.
Freeze looks like the most popular abilities the players are electing to choose.
And there goes Icy down. Where is Death Eagle? This is a real cheeky spot.
Finding his way onto the tree. He knows things others don't. Look at that stylish avatar right there. Let's see if they can find where he even is. People might get a little confused when the ball disappears into the trees.
Yeah, you can also kind of aim when you're bouncing back. So if you're not paying attention, you won't see him up there.
Again, Rapture.
Quick
used very well.
Yeah, Rapture's showing a good job here. Everyone is really focused on that timing of a direct flight. When you see that arc and that increased speed, it throws things off.
So for viewers who haven't played a ton of Blade Ball, what does Rapture actually do, and how does it change how that ball travels?
Yeah, so Rapture is an upward slash where you're seeing a different kind of velocity coming from the ball.
And that's that flaming sword icon we're seeing on a player like PokeDragon.
Significantly increased curve and an influence on the power here allows for, again, a shift in timing, trying to throw off those reaction speeds.
Personally, I've never avoided a Rapture before. I've always died when it's used on me, so I'd like to see somebody survive that here.
It's going real quick here. Frozen up in midair. Who's it going to go after here? Death Eagle in the hot seat. Needs to reply. That's good from him.
Oh, wow. Actually, incredible anonymous line play there. You saw Death Eagle hit a direct shot to the person right to the right, and they still recovered it. At this point, this is where things heat up. People are going to be falling real quick at this ball speed.
Even with the freeze, he did not cover.
He did not count to 5 effectively. We'll have to bring that back to counting. Oh,
wow.
Look at that double. Roby turning it on. He could do it.
He was kind of the unsung hero of Super League Soccer, scored a lot of big goals, but only actually managed to win one round of it.
Oh, good freeze there. Giving PokeDragon enough time to back up, though. Hopefully he's got the space. This ball's going to become nice and slow.
Going to max, yep.
And this is as fast as it's going to get going. Zipping back and forth. Our players doing well to react. It seems like it all comes down to the abilities with how you survive. And just the flick to the left there is very nice from Mad Max. I don't think Shafe was ready.
No, sending him back to the AFK zone to observe this match from afar.
Now Roby's on a tree.
Yeah, we'll see. It didn't work out for the Death Eagle, who did go down on his tree, but Roby, king of the jungle right now.
Rapture used. Actually, I think the first time we've seen Rapture not end in an elimination, but there's one back with the Rapture as well.
Look who we see again. Anturel, defense of the soccer, now showing this is what matters in Blade Ball.
I want to try and check in with Anturel. Let's see if he can go back-to-back here.
Yeah.
And win both rounds of this one. Has looked so good in this mode thus far. Clear the practice is paying off in a long rally. The Rapture, he avoids it. Back
Rapture
it goes
and
again.
Rapture.
Anturel staying alive.
Incredible. Double elimination.
Impeccable from him.
All right, Roby is in it, though. Let's see what he can do here. We've seen some of these favorites already coming out here. Is he going to stay on the street for the one-on-one? Interesting. A good position. We see the rundown strategy happening a lot. Folks close that gap, force incredible reaction speeds back and forth really, really quickly, but we won't see it here if he stays up there, which means, no, he's coming down. He's going to play off this field. Doesn't like the angle for himself either.
It's going so fast. Who's going to make a mistake first? Who messes up at the beginning? Roby is down.
Again for Anturel.
Back-to-back for Anturel.
That is huge for Anturel here. Really suddenly securing his spot here so far in Blade Ball. Really important stuff. Incredible to see. Back-to-back wins showing he does have what it takes.
Truly impeccable from him. I mean, just looking so clean with the reaction times. I think having really good positioning throughout and definitely not afraid to take fights. We saw a lot of players trying to hide, almost play placements up in the trees, and it worked pretty well for Roby to get second place. We'll take a peek at the scores here, which is going to show us another 15 tallied up for Anturel, adding 30 to his running total.
Can he go for the perfect score in 5 matches?
That would be
ridiculous.
That would be
clean
insane.
sweep of Blade Ball, and unfortunately, Roby going for the clean sweep of second place. But hey, that's still a lot of points here, keeping him in this game. A couple wins might be what he needs to pull ahead.
We got to see more from Jay. He lost first in the first round, went out early in this one as well. There's 3 matches left to turn it around, but definitely has to step things up for him.
Yeah, scores are tight. I will say again, anyone's game still just got to get a couple more wins here, and it's not over yet. Blade Ball is just the beginning. We've got some slap battles indoors still in the progression round, so there will be some more folks moving on. However, after Blade Ball, we will have one more progressing. So, all right, the folks are getting secure. They're getting in here. Final game. All right, and how you feeling? Who's going to take this one?
Third game. There's still 3 games left
after this.
Third game.
I'm just gonna go with Anturel. He's shown nothing but perfect gameplay here, so I don't want to be wrong here.
All right, you've heard it here. The master of Blade and Ball. We'll see how this progresses. Look at that. 2 players already running into each other. That was a quick close.
I like that from PokeDragon. Had a couple rough runs here in Blade Ball, but starts things off with an elimination.
Yeah, impressive stuff here.
Tough positioning for Icy right at the start there.
That was.
Freeze onto the ball.
No obstacles on this one. The folks are on a flat, even playing ground. There will be no hiding in the trees.
Death Eagle. Very interesting strategy. He's just going into the center of the map here. Clearly extremely confident in every one of these games we've seen thus far.
There's no tree to stand on, so he's got no place else to go.
Yeah, Icicle and Poke out already. The remaining players still on the board here, doing the spread out, slow play for the beginning here. No one wants to get sloppy on these easy hits. All right, good catch on the freeze here. You don't have to wait for freeze. That is important. People can close in on that gap and just hit it, which I think is part of the mental bait. They want you to run forward and forget your timings on defense.
Yeah, the thing is, though, sometimes when it's frozen, you basically have to choose, do you back up and take the risk on the timing, as we see doesn't work out from Lime, or do you close the gap and do that? Because it is tough to get the timing perfect with how fast that ball gets moving.
Indeed, indeed. We see Shafe playing with the jumps there. The jumps is a dangerous one. It can throw off your ability to see when exactly that timing matters, but it can confuse your opponents as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It almost looks like he's reacting less off of actually seeing the ball and more off of just like feeling the timing. It's a very cerebral way to play it. Is unfortunately for the Death Eagle, he's eliminated early this round.
Look at his expression. That must have been devastating.
Yeah, that is devastating, but I will admit his fun fact on his player card was that he is a good loser. Unfortunately, we don't want to see that today. We'd like a good winner.
I don't know how fun that is.
Sad fact.
Means he's a
That's
good
a sad
sport?
fact.
No, he means he's a good sport, and that's what matters in a competition like this.
Oh, it's going real quick here. Couple freezes from both sides. Shafe ready to receive this one. Does he have the timing perfect? It's not going for him. Another freeze, and that's an elimination.
All right, but still some important folks in that. Unfortunately, that is Jay, and this was an important round for him. But guess what? Roby is still in it. Antaral is still in it, and these folks are on pace right now for the top scores.
And honestly, I'd love to just watch Antarel here. A chance to go for the three-peat. And thus far, he's playing a little bit back.
Yeah.
Letting the other competitors eliminate each other. He does a great job of choosing when to get proactive, when to actually become a part of this fight. His ability's online. It's going real quick back and forth. Antarel not finding him yet. Frozen for a moment. Roby hits it in.
Wow.
Mad Max is gone.
And that's unfortunate, coming right to him from around that corner. He might not have been looking the right way.
Roby has been our other best player of Blade Ball, and him and Antarel are both in this. Another competitor, though. Someone who was good in the last round. Shafe here as well with his chance to dethrone Antarel in this mode.
Yeah, I think we saw some impressive goaltending, or goalkeeping from Shafe. Oh, in that
Whoa.
last round, but
That's Roby gone.
that's Roby.
1v1. Antarel. He's three-peat on the line here. Up against Shafe. The goalkeeper extraordinaire. It's back and forth so quick.
Wow,
And
three in a
Antarel,
row.
Three
That's insane.
in a row.
Look at that fire emoji on top of his head. That must feel real good.
That is an important win from Antaral, who takes 3 top spots in 3 rounds here. Boy, he must be feeling good. You've got a little room to breathe here, a little bit of a buffer. Yeah, that is the face of the champion of the Blade.
Yeah, I'll tell you
And
what,
ball.
if he gets a little bit better, he might just be able to match up against me.
Yeah, we're going to see that
Yeah.
in the
I
Caster
feel like he
Throwdown.
might crush you. No offense. He looks kind of undefeated right now.
After this competition, I challenge Antarel to a 1v1
Okay.
in play ball.
Let's see it.
Yeah, you know, we did have one of our teammates warming up with these folks earlier as a 10th sub-in 10th player who we consider a very good player, and he was destroyed by every one of these guys, so
Yeah.
they are good. All right, folks, looks like the scores are in. Let's check it out and see where we stand. No surprise there, Antaral sweeping Blade Ball with 3 victories and 45 points on the board.
Antarel had 66 points coming into this one from 2 wins in SLS and a solid performance in DTI. This should now put him out in front of the lead. If he can maintain this through the rest of the rounds of Blade Ball, he is setting himself up for a bit of a break to not have to play through doors, to get to skip out on slap battles as well, and put himself in a great position to win $1 million.
Yeah, we'll see if he can, though. But again, our top players are still within 20 points of each other, which means a single bad round of Blade Ball could put you down on the scoreboard pretty quickly.
That it could. I mean, it's a lot of the times comes down to which way that ball is going. You can get caught off guard. One slight mistake, one slight slip up, and you lose a lot of points. And we're into our 4th round, the penultimate playthrough here of Blade Ball.
Yeah, sometimes I notice when playing Blade Ball, you get caught up into other people's battles and you don't notice that the ball is coming to you next. So you got to be always alert.
You got to watch the cross. We see in the movement, they mostly want to keep space with the players next to them, no surprises. But that cross-up is a dangerous time for both players. Try to avoid, I think, in general. Again, Antaral playing it safe, and this has worked for him in this initial round. Carve out your own corner and just play it easy. Let the fools charge in.
We've seen 3 rounds thus far. I want to ask you guys, how are we feeling about the ability choice of our players? I think we've seen some value from the freeze, from a couple different ones. What would you be choosing if you were competing?
Well, I think Rapture's really shown its shines here. Just being able to change that arc and mix things up has been awesome. A little harder to notice the magnet that pulls people in with the pull, but that is an important one because when you sneak up on someone a bit there, use the pull and get a quick return, and that's what's going to throw folks off.
My go-to ability is the Infinity, which unfortunately is not in this game. But,
yeah, this was hand-chosen by the developers to ensure we had the most competitive mode here, and these were the 4 they deemed fair, balanced, and a wonderful sport to watch.
That's one of the things that is so cool about this tournament, the involvement of the developers. I know talking to them, you were saying a lot of the devs of these games were so excited to see them played here at the Hunt Final.
Yeah, we appreciate all the work the devs did, adding some custom tweaks to some of their modes, and we know even some brand new modes, as we'll get to a little later in this competition.
Yes, we will.
And that's one of the special kind of magical fun things about Roblox, is working with our developers so hand in hand to make awesome competitions and awesome tournament games that can stand the test of time.
Well, our three-peat winner here in Blade Ball is alive yet again. About half the contestants are gone, and another, that's Death Eagle, falling yet again here.
Oh, and that's rough. Unfortunately for Death Eagle, that was a real important game for win. He's still high in the standings, but needed a good first place here to really secure a top spot.
The players that are closest to Antarel in score are going to be Roby, who's doing pretty well for himself. Shafe up just a few points behind. Those are the guys you're looking at here. It's Jay taken out of this round, and we've whittled things down to a final 4. Again, Roby, Antarel, those are the guys to watch in this final.
Yeah, an important one. I'm not sure they're paying attention to these scores as much as we are back there, as the competition's fierce, but if I was Antoel, I'd be going for some of the folks who I know could compete with my top spot, and that's Roby, who's still in this game.
But Anonymous Lime, a third contender, trying to step up. He's closing the gap. Antarel somehow always avoiding getting involved in these early fights.
Yeah, they really should be teaming up on him.
Yeah, that's right. They're kind of playing a little passive here, just splitting the board across this triangle.
It's just going back and forth around the triangle. Lime hits it in. Who slips up first? Who makes a mistake? Roby, abilities being used. It's going so quick, but every one of them up to the task. Still staying in it, and finally.
Amazing free.
I mean,
this is going to be hard to recover.
Let's see if Antarel.
And he can't do it.
Oh, I thought it went to Antarel.
No, that was
he's still in it. A 1v1 between two of our top performers. Antarel, Roby,
this is the rundown.
back and forth.
Oh my goodness.
They go.
It's fireworks.
Down, and Roby
gets the win.
Clutches up.
crowns the king. And is the first player besides Antarel to take home a round here in Blade Ball.
Well, that was an incredible run down there. An important win for Roby. That is a key moment for him to capture those points and put himself up there where he needs to be.
So stoic and so relaxed.
Yeah, that's his
Zero
vibe.
pressure.
Yeah, he knows it, man. Just keep it cool, keep it chill.
Look at
him. $1 million, what? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, seems like he's been there many times before.
You got to be stoic when you're doing it. Our scores are ready to go. The umpires have tallied things up, and still it's Antarel leading out, but Roby is close behind. The issue is, if it keeps going down to those two, another 3 points is not going to be enough for Roby to overtake there.
No, we're going to need some tactical plays here because, again, they can win, but they need to knock Antarel out early. I'd be hunting, I'd be looking, and try to use those abilities fast and get him out of this competition.
58 points across DTI and SLS for Roby and 66 for Antarel. So not only would Roby have to do better than Antarel in this round, but significantly so to be able to pull ahead there. So he basically has to win and get Antarel out early if he wants to overtake here.
Right. And another name that's not mentioned enough here is actually a chat favorite, which is Death Eagle. Everybody wants to see him come back, and let's see if he could pull off a win in the final game here.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple emotional reactions from him losing out in some of these early rounds, and he's definitely going to have to step up here, only taking home 22 points across the first 4 rounds. We want to see some more from him in this final one.
But a reminder, it's never over for all of our players who need to keep on fighting because this is a progression system with points that count across each game. So you do need to try your hardest in each and every round here. It is important to secure as high of a spot as possible in each round. But here we are, the final round of Blade Ball. And here we go, Anonymous Lime.
It's almost over.
I know.
I'm having a great time.
I could watch Blade Ball, I think, all day. It is a beautiful game of art.
It is really fun to watch. The pace at which it plays, it's kind of unlike anything else that we're going to be playing in the tournament today.
Absolutely. And a nice, quiet, distraction-free map here to just show this is a game of skill. As, again, there's a boom, and I believe the first player goes down here. Exciting stuff, but Shafe will not be remaining in this round of the competition.
Yeah, the brand new classic V2, I believe, the map, a fan favorite here.
That's really tough for Shafe. He was one of those players just on the edge, cumulatively 101 points for Shafe. He could have, if Antarel and Roby had been eliminated early, maybe looked to overtake, but unfortunately today's not his day, at least in this one game. There's still more for him to play, but that opportunity to qualify straight to the top 4, not really looking too possible.
All right, Death Eagle takes down Icicle. quickly there with a click and a sweep, and that is down for the count.
That play just before that, too, with Jay freezing that Rapture was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of the best direct counters, I think, when we're talking about the abilities in this game.
Absolutely. Great reaction time there.
All right, well, Antaro's still in it, and that is the player to be watching in this round. If they can take him out early, there is a chance here. It is an important moment for him. We'll see where this freeze is going. I'm not sure they saw the trajectory.
Mad Max.
Oh, going
Another
with the
good
counter freeze. Absolutely.
Oh,
and that is
Antero
Antero out.
Wait, this is a chance now for
Huge
Roby
play.
to
The
come
King
back
has
here.
fallen.
It's true. Now, suddenly, this is a moment of truth here. Roby can claw this back. That was an early knockout.
It's really going to come down to how the points roll out. Did Antarel go out early enough? Can Roby actually win this? It'll be neck and neck between the two of those, but to have its absolute best chance at the points working in his favor, Roby wants to win this round.
Yeah,
Chad is still talking about Death Eagle. They can't stop talking about him. He's very
neither
popular.
can we. Neither can we, and he's going to shine still. I have a lot of faith in our remaining matches here. But for this one, this is a moment for Roby. If he can place top 2, I believe, he might have the points to move on. We'll find out.
We'll have to see the umpires tally it, but all he's thinking right now is that a win would be so important, and that's Death Eagle, the fan favorite, going down. And I think we're down to 4 contestants. Jay still in this one, Lime still in this one, but they're fighting each other, and the real man who's winning off of that is, of course, Roby, sitting in the corner, letting his opponents fight each other off, and buying time, buying placement in this round.
Yeah, good plays from Mad Max. He's been a little quieter in the earlier rounds, but he's done a good job this round eliminating some important players and actually sticking to it and staying alive.
I like that we see Roby use the fully zoomed out camera and get as much situational awareness as possible. He's not looking at it from his character's perspective. He's looking at this almost bird's eye view and staying in the race.
Yeah, it's interesting timing. That means he knows the distance to the map because you're not going to see the collision with your character here. You got to just watch the ball, your opponent, the timing, and know the second count each and every bounce of this.
If you've played Blade Ball, you know you're not even really looking at the ball a ton. You just kind of feel it. You feel the momentum. You get in a rhythm, and that's why the abilities are so strong because they break that natural rhythm.
Yeah,
that's why I play with my eyes closed.
I was going to say we should have the blindfolded Blade Ball competition and see how far anyone gets.
You probably could play off audio. It would be hard, but.
Also, shout out to Jay. He's sort of been moving his way up the ladder in each and every match.
Yeah,
and
doing a
he's
great
still in the
job
game.
here.
Yeah.
All right,
Roby,
we've
though.
got a top 3. Anonymous Lime also doing great today with Roby. Who was that? Who just
I think
goes
that was
home here?
Roby that just went down.
That
Roby is out of the round.
Roby. I'm not sure if that score is going to be enough at
I
third.
don't think so. Antarel is going to have to be really kind of getting a sigh of relief out of there, knowing that he's getting a pretty comparable number of points
Jay
here.
with
Jay,
the win. Wow.
Final win of that one. He needed that one. Was sitting at 77 points going into this round, adding 15 more to the total from the win. We're going to have to tally everything up, of course, but I think that's likely to be a position that Antarel is feeling good about. He took 3 out of 5, got a runner-up position in the 4th, and got about a middling placement in that final round.
Yeah, it is cumulative. So as you get the scoring, even if you don't clear this one hurdle, it is important going on to the final. But again, wonderful stuff. We'll find out from the judges.
And that's why we're talking about, right, our top performer being the one who gets that insta qualification, but there's still the other players who have to go and now play slap battles after this and then doors after that. Getting into 2nd, 3rd place and being competitive in that way means that you're in a way better position once that top number is taken off the board to sneak in and qualify in that next round.
Right. And I feel like in a way, slap battles coming up next is very similar to Blade Ball, fast-paced individual competition. And here are the scores. So let's take a look.
All right. Oh, wow. Look at that. 1 point lead for Antarel over Roby in that
Close
one.
call.
Yeah.
And we'll wait for that official tally, but Antarel did go in with more points than Roby as well, so that should be enough. But we, of course, want to wait for that official confirmation from our referees. Antarel, though, what an impressive performance from him. 2 wins in SLS, a solid showing in DTI, and now 60 points tallied up here in Blade Ball. Looking like a fierce competitor there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that was epic, everyone. Let's all take a deep breath after Blade Ball and see what's going on with Geach and Sabrina and what they have to say.
Yes, thank you, Jay Party. I needed that. I'm over here losing it watching these games. They were so good. Oh my gosh. Now, Sabrina, who surprised you the most?
Well, Antarel, because I did not expect those skills, and then they started going after Antarel. So that was a good strategy on their part.
Of course, because you've got to get out the guy who's getting everybody else out.
3 wins in a row. That's scary.
Yeah, and especially with the intensity that I really enjoyed watching Antarel and Roby go at it because I just knew that Roby was, I don't know, Roby had the strats. It's just like, he just couldn't quite
The
pull it out.
reflexes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then just the back and forth so fast, man. But, you know, Jay pulling it out the last round.
Yeah, that was unexpected. I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be anyone's game at this point.
I don't know.
We have
man.
no idea what's going to be happening in the next few games.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect Anterel to get knocked out in that last round, especially the way that he played the first 4 rounds, and then for Mad Max to come and just take him out. I think I had to double take when that happened because I couldn't believe that Anterel got eliminated. I was like, wait a minute, did I say Anterel got eliminated? I didn't expect that. But then, you know, for it to end in Anterel and Roby to only be 1 point apart.
Yeah, that's insane. Only 1 point apart. Right now, those two are the top for $1 million, right? That's crazy.
Man, I mean, if I played like that, I feel like I'd have a pretty good shot. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a blade baller. You know, it's a little too fast for me. I don't think my eyes
Fun
can
fact,
keep
they
up.
said something about playing blade ball blindfolded. I actually did do that.
How did that go for you?
I got on voice chat in Roblox and I asked a random player if they would help me.
You trusted a random?
Yes, I was blindfolded.
Girl.
I played the game. They told me when to hit and I won. That was amazing though. Thank you so much. Now back to you, Jay Party.
All right, riveting analysis from our fancy correspondence team. Y'all doing great
I can't believe
stuff.
she won
Appreciate it.
blindfolded. That's crazy.
I don't believe that.
I'm into the blindfolded blade ball competition. That's going to be for the next hunt. We'll see. All right. Well, another game down, which means a new contestant is advancing to the round of 4.
And it's official. We are happy to announce the next contestant making their way into the top 4. It's the 3-time blade ball champion, Anterel.
All right. Give it up for Anterel here. He is deserving of a good break after that performance. Wow. Such a strong showing. So he's going to join our first contestant, and just like that, 2 folks have progressed. Exciting stuff. Dudadud and Anterel get to hang out and talk about how they're going to strategize for the top 4.
Yeah, let's take a look at the scores here as well, because we're getting all tallied up. We're getting towards the last 2 games here in the qualification stage, Enya.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. They're now 1 step closer to the $1 million. Looking at Roby and Shafe here,
you guys have
each
to lock
over
in.
100 points.
Yeah, that is strong. But hey, players in the 90s still have a major chance here. As we've seen, the points start adding up in these 5-round games that we're going to see.
Yeah, I want to give some credit to Jay there. He lost first in the first game of Blade Ball, went out early in the second as well, and then rallied back in those last 2 games, or the last 3, getting deep placements to tally nearly 30 points on the board and bring himself now into the top 4 of our standings.
Pardon me.
All right. Well, things are heating up here. We've got our 8 contestants left. And now would be a great time to get up, stretch, grab a snack, and take a brief pause. But don't go too far away. Don't change that channel. We're going to be resuming the stream here. But first, we're going to see some stories of some of the incredible creators that make Roblox possible. I think we've got some fun stories, some fun content for you folks at home. So maybe we'll
nobody
check out
wants-
some of these creator stories.
Nobody
And we'll be
wants
back
to
with
watch that,
live
man.
competition soon for the $1 million prize that's coming.
Nobody wants to watch this, man.
It was funny being the art director on a high-end fashion game. And I wear Crocs on the daily.
The difference between this and all of our other projects is there's very little.
The color palette is actually just kept blank.
Why
It
is it
definitely
like
takes a lot
that?
of pressure off you. You know, you're not just out.
That
So,
staticky
and
thing,
one
yeah.
of-
One.
So good. Oh my gosh. Now, Sabrina, who's the
Actually just
Well, on a break, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to do then. Nobody's watching. I might pause stream until they come back. Is it even possible to pause stream on here? I think so, maybe. Who knows? Let's see if it's possible to pause stream. Because, like, I think it's possible. Okay. I'll add the screen. But I have the music playing. you back? Are you back? Oh no, we're still going. We're still going.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience because the wait is finally over. The even more chaotic Slap Battles is about to begin.
Let's check it out.
Game 4, Slap Battles. There are 5 free-for-all matches. Contestants must knock everyone else off the platform. Last one standing wins. The contestant with the highest cumulative score will advance to the round of 4. Here's the scoring for each match.
All right, folks. Don't let that charming music deter you. This is a serious competition, and it's really important for our players as there is a pretty close scoring amongst our top here, and it's still anyone's game because in 5 rounds of slap battles, if you go out first, you ain't getting any points. And if you make it to the top, you're getting a lot. So, again, the competition is in it. We've got some exciting stories from our players, and I think they're doing good stuff here. Mimi, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this is going to be exciting. I think we're going to start to really shake out who our true top players are because it's down to the wire and we're into our first round of slap battles. There's going to be 5 total and this one is a little bit fun, a little bit chaotic. Normally this is a game with a ton of different gloves, but in this version, we're only playing with one to keep the competition fair.
Yes, the basic white glove, and of course, the fart ability is the only one that is in the game, and as you guys can hear, it's already being used.
Absolutely, you're going to hear that flowing here. As this game's going to have a little bit of a slower pace start, the players are going to kind of jockey for position in the middle here with this basic glove. It doesn't have a massive knockback, which is kind of an important part of this, as the terrain will start to burn down around them and force them onto a smaller and smaller island.
I gotta say, everybody must be trying their best, fighting for life to win, because losing in slap battles must be the most disrespectful way to go out. I will not take that.
Yeah, you hear a fart sound effect and you fall off the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go down like that. Pressure definitely on. I think it's a lot of strategy in it, as silly as that might sound for how silly the game is. You have to calculate your risks. Do you play towards the center where there's going to be a lot more conflict? Do you stick more to the side but risk getting hit off in just 1 or 2 slaps? Positioning is a lot of the game in slap battles.
Yeah, as you get a breakaway, we'll see as players start to get knocked towards the edge, you kind of see the whole mob move towards them a little bit, trying to get an extra slap, push them off the cliff, because it takes a little bit of time as all players are still alive here. But this board is getting smaller.
You are incentivized to, not take too many risks because you're not getting points for eliminating other players. You're getting points for surviving and being the last man standing on that island as it slowly whittles away. Still, our competitors all up, but players starting to get a little closer to that edge.
Yeah, we see with this next drop on the layer on fire now, when that falls, we're going to see people dropping real quick here as we might be a single slap away from the center, and that's where the action really heats up.
This is getting intense.
All right, yeah, still 8 players alive, actually, which is a high score. I'm surprised as we saw folks falling a little quicker here.
Oh, no, Death Eagle, the fan favorite.
Tough for him. He had a couple slower finishes in Blade battles. Still, one of our top half contenders points-wise, and another one falls down. Shafe, making a lot of noise on the way down.
Wow, and we are going to be making it to, it looks like, our final small pedestal here with a lot of players still in this.
Yeah, 6 up on a very small island. Who's going to be the first to slip? Another goes down. Second player falling as well. It's down to a final 4. Who can stay up? Who can hold on? Mad Max in the center. It looks like a 1v1 against Lime. Max falls, and that should be Lime taking the first round.
All right. Wow.
Congratulations.
That got a wee bit chaotic here as all 8 players made it to a really small form of the island here. But Anonymous Lime taking our kickoff match of slap battles and a whole new array of top players coming out in this next game.
And that's instantly going to shoot Lime way up the standings here. The pack was super tight in the middle of the group, and getting those full points for the victory is big for Anonymous Lime.
Yeah, it seems like his name's just popping out of nowhere now. Didn't really see him much in Blade Ball there. And me personally, I played a lot of slap battle, and I have some overpowered gloves. Just seeing them use the basic gloves, it must be really, really difficult to knock somebody down. This is the game that induces the most rage out of me. So
really,
it's nice to see the players are still keeping their cool.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw some emotions starting to come out in our last match of Blade Battle, and I imagine it'll only get more intense as the games get closer and players realize that chance to make $1 million is slipping away. But our scores are set to go, so let's take a peek how we're doing. No surprises, Anonymous Lime up top, earning 16 points from his win.
Yeah, Mad Max coming in second with 13, and Jay needing those 10 points. And it's good to see some folks popping up. Icicle had a rough round in Blade Ball, but takes 4th here. We'll see if that's enough to keep his hopes alive. Unfortunately, an upset here with the Death Eagle falling first and Roby going down again early on in this match here. So that's unfortunate. We'll see if that's enough to knock him down, but I think they've still got a shot here.
Yeah, looks like players are getting into the match now. So let's go ahead and hop in. Our second game getting underway now. And the island, for but a moment, is back to being calm.
Looks peaceful, right? Not for long.
And there's the countdown. Again, no early knockdowns that last round. We'll see if that sticks to be the case because it's anyone's game, but the player's still playing safe. Everyone kind of jockeying for that King of the Hill in the middle there. That's the spot to be. You could see a bit of a rundown if anyone shows weakness on the edge there. I think we see the Death Eagle playing a little more outside the pack. No one needs to get their hands dirty up front here. Take it slow.
It's funny because you actually see him kind of actioning a similar strategy to what he did in Blade Ball, staying back, playing the fringe of the map, trying to just basically avoid attention from other contestants until he runs out of time. Icy, Roby, both doing the same. Definitely feels advantageous. But there's a fight towards the edge, and Lime goes aggro, knocks Jay off the world.
Ooh, that's rough for Jay, who needed some more points here, but goes down early in this round. Again, this is only round 2 of a 5 cluster of slap battles here, but yeah, an early knockdown for Jay.
Jay was having a good run back like you were talking about. Good placement in the first round as well as back in our last game of Blade Ball as well.
Maybe that's why Lime was targeting Jay right off the rip.
Yeah, you wanted to go for that. Go for the people who are leading right now. You know, while the map burns down. Oh, wait, we did lose another one. Poke Dragon goes down. Fun facts about slap battles. You know, the devs develop and update this game all the time. There has been a 1 glove released every Friday for 4 years since this game's creation. So that's a lot of gloves.
Yeah.
And there goes Roby.
Roby again going down early, and that is rough to see. Roby has a pretty comfortable position here, but if he goes down early again, that's going to slip away. Oh, but that's Death Eagle, one of his main competitors here. Oh.
Close call.
Yeah, that was a close one. Anonymous Lime holding on.
Well, but he couldn't hold on for long.
Couldn't hold on there. That was a close call. He tried.
Yeah, so our winner of the first round off, and it's 3 contestants working for it. Shafe, one of the top standers right now in terms of points, a chance to win a round here. 1v1v1. Shafe pushed back towards the edge,
gotta get
gets
up
back
quick,
up
and
just
he's
in the nick
back.
of time, and Icy falls off the
Icy goes
platform.
down, but takes third, and that's an important score for him. He needs those points.
Wow,
and Mad Max
wow.
falls.
Look at what he means
Shafe.
to him. You can see the players heating up with their reactions as we go on. So for Mad Max, back-to-back second places as Shafe takes that win.
Yeah, a big round. You know, it's interesting to note here, Icicle and Poke Dragon were hurting a little bit, and we might see those in the scores. They're making a comeback, but why it's important is both of them are self-described Doors experts, which will be the final game in the progression round. So if they can keep it forward, they're going to be in a good spot.
It's also weighted a little more heavily because we're playing 5 rounds of Slap Battles and Blade Ball. We played 3 of SLS, 2 of DTI. There was a lot of chances for repetition. We're only going to be playing Doors once. So that is the real, like, blue shell comeback opportunity for our players to get a ton of points if they win Doors.
100 points. Everything will be on the line for Doors, which is coming up next. But first, we still have a couple more matches of Slap Battles left to go. Let's see if any player can pull ahead here.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the Death Eagle here. He's, like we've talked about, one of the fan favorites. He's the player who had to travel the longest to make it here. And with a really strong early start in DTI, he's struggled a little bit in these more recent games. We've seen some reactions, getting a little, energetic at when he was losing these, a little disappointed to be falling off. So you're looking at him to come back here as we see our scores. Mad Max, the back-to-back second places, pushes him above Anonymous Lime.
Yeah, consistency is key as demonstrated by their 26 points. Our leader so far, but right behind him, Anonymous Lime, 24, 18 for Shafe. And again, the rest of our players down the line. Unfortunately, Death Eagle in last place right now with Slap Battles. We'll see if we can turn it around.
Yeah, that we will. We're getting into our third round now here of Slap Battles, the midpoint of this game and the penultimate game here of our qualifying round before moving on to Doors.
Makes me wonder how Enteral would have done in Slap Battles. Doesn't look like the skills are translating directly from Blade Ball to this.
Yeah, we've seen a whole different set of folks come out on top here. And the initial high fives are happening. I like to pretend they're all just shaking hands at the start here.
Doing very important business deals as they slowly fall off the world.
Those slap sounds bring back some nightmares for me.
Is this how you do the Roblox business deals when you're off talking to developers around the world?
Just slap.
That is true. More fun facts about Roblox. After you compete in Rivals for your promotion, you will compete in Slap Battles to have the best ceiling of the contract. So it is a wonderful world to live in, the whimsical life of a Roblox employee.
What's up for IRL Slap Battles after this?
We'll see. Do we get to choose our own glove?
We'll leave that one to you. Still, all 8 of our contestants are standing in this third round. We're watching the Death Eagle, the guy we've talked a lot about today.
I checked my stream and I
Yeah, it's
realized,
an important run for him. He needs to place in the top 3 here to keep
was
his
still
spot
on
alive in this
starting
competition.
soon
It's
stream, yeah.
unfortunately a lot of pressure for Slap Battles, a game of whimsical fun, but serious money on the line here.
Yeah.
And we'll see Roby again, also someone in an
So
interesting
we're
spot.
back.
Oh, but Poke
I can
goes
catch the
down. We
puppy
missed his
watching
fall there,
Slap
but he is
Battles.
out. And all right, that gives a lot of our players still a chance here to get that score. I know Roby's going to be
Death
looking for it.
Eagle,
The
you
second
need
round now where
block
Poke
in.
Dragon has gone down
You
pretty
know that.
early. I believe he was the first eliminated the last round too, and that's Jay falling.
Death Eagle, you
Yeah,
just
a bit of a
need to
gang up on
lock
Jay.
in.
Gets down in the corner.
You not
Yeah, he's
be
been
locking
eliminated
in.
pretty
I've
early
seen
in the
you
last
win
2 rounds.
last.
Yeah,
Last
it's an
time I
unfortunate
saw.
spin for him here. And I'm surprised that first round we saw a long, drawn-out fight, but in this one, folks are dropping. With Poke and Jay out, only 6 remain.
Anyways, I believe.
All right, platforms are
I think
plotting.
Sayaf.
Okay,
I don't
Roby
know
getting
how
hit,
to
but
say
staying in it. Now
that
we see
way.
it back to that
You
king
know
of the
why?
hill,
'Cause
jockeying
he's
for
playing
position,
it
staying in the
smart.
middle.
He's been playing these
That was a
games
far
like
knockback there.
Yeah, a
proper
lot of these
smart. He's
platforms
been
starting to
sitting
drop.
back in Blade Ball.
Yeah, that power
Might
is a
win.
quick boost. Very important to kind of
locking it
recover
in.
your position or sneak up and get that push slap and get them over the edge as folks show signs of weakness.
I'm locking it
Ooh, the
in.
platform's burning in a weird
Sayaf.
way this time. It's going to leave a funny
Sayaf
shape at the end
or
here. And we're going to see a lot of folks dropping
Can
real
Shafe
fist
make it
here.
back? Oh, good use of the blast there to boost his way back in. But
Oh, and Icicle, Shafe, Anonymous Line, they all fall one by one by one, and it's Roby and the Death Eagle. Oh, this is an important one here.
Come on,
oh, Death Eagle, can he make it back onto the platform?
People
Just
in
in
the
time. The
chat
slap
to lock
connects.
in.
Roby stuck on the platform. They're both falling.
Ooh.
Who makes it down first?
Good position.
Roby competing.
Oh,
who
who
wins it?
fell?
Roby's just above
The
now.
Death Eagle.
Death Eagle steals
Wow.
it away at
Wins
the
it.
end. The most intense round we've had is Slap Battles thus far, and you see the elation on his face, disappointment in the first 2 rounds, and now feeling good off that win.
Oh,
The fans must be real happy after this one. They've given him a nickname. They're calling him the Deagle in chat.
The Deagle. Oh, that is a good nickname.
Wow.
All right. Well, a win that he needs, that is for sure. However, the person he didn't need to get second was Roby. So that's going to keep things tight here as this race is getting into, what was that, our third round here? I think we had two more rounds left
Two
of
more
slap
left
battles.
to go. Yeah, our umpires, it came so down to the wire. They're still tallying things up to make sure we get everything right here. But you were mentioning it earlier. Doors, a maximum of 100 points here. So even if you're one of these bottom players right now, I'm looking at Pokey Dragon, Icicle, the guys who have been struggling a little bit more. As long as they are not more than 100 points behind the first player, they still technically have a chance to rally back.
Exactly. Yeah. It's still anyone's game. So do not give up on your favorite player here in chat. Go ahead and show your love for whoever you're rooting for. But
Come on, Deagle!
yeah, it's really interesting to see that all 3 matches had 3 different winners.
Yeah, a little more competitive than the domination we saw from Antarel in the last game there at Blade Ball.
Right, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You heard it here. Important for our folks. There is still points on the line in the 2 remaining matches. Hopefully, Poke Dragon and Icicle can step it up. And again, our friend Poke Dragon, the player in red from Canada, is a self-described expert of doors. So is Icicle. So that is their time to shine here. But keep it alive with the right slaps here as we are getting underway and getting our next game ready.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're conserving their energy for the final match to pull off that miraculous comeback. I would love to see that. That would be intense.
It's a good way to do it. How to shark your opponents. You got to just let those first games flow away and then turn it up when it matters.
Get their guard down, right?
Yeah, when the money's on the line here. So impressive stuff. Very exciting.
Yeah, back in our last game of Blade Ball, it was Jay who pulled off a last-second win, taking home the 5th game of that one. He's in another position to kind of have that rally back towards the end. Born in South Korea, moved over to California when he was young. One of at least 2 players that are local to California playing in this competition today. So for him, definitely looking to get another late win on the board and start to rally his way back up the points.
So, Enyu, as a master of the slap arts, are you seeing kind of a meta forming in this competition? Anything unique popping out here that you weren't expecting in the slap battles rounds?
I personally haven't played the slap battles where the platform falls down, so that is definitely making a huge difference in the players' play styles, I think, rather than just having the original platform. And like I said, I've always been the one to use the OP gloves because I don't have too much skill. I just like slapping people out of the map for fun. So these guys are very good compared to me.
We do have such a mix of the games that I think very naturally fit into like a serious esport. You think something like Rivals, it's an arena FPS. It's like a ton of other arena FPSs that have been popular esports before. But Slap Battles is one that is so unique that it's funny to kind of have the tonal dissidence of this incredibly silly game with these super high stakes and seeing the emotion come off the sleeves of our players while duking it out.
Right, and that's kind of the fun here, as I've nicknamed our Roblox Octathlon, a series of skills you would not expect to see in the gaming world here. Again, starting with fashion all the way to shooters and platformers. And today, we're in the reaction speed games with Blade Ball and Slap Battles here. And it's a broad array of skills, which again, these players, again, with the millions and millions who competed in the hunt initially, was a game of puzzles and skills and ingenuity and working together to solve really complex kind of mental challenges. Now you're tested on all these other elements of gaming. So these folks truly are masters of so many ways to engage in a digital world here. It's quite impressive.
We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, but I want to go back because, Enyu, I know you played some of the qualifying rounds to make it in. Can you speak to the challenge that it is? Because 183 people visited that main page for the hunt. Only these 10 made it. It was truly a difficult run to qualify here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really goes to show what their perseverance, as we mentioned earlier, over 70,000 hours combined from these players.
Right.
The amount of, and it's not just about the skill. You could be very good at the game, but if you don't have the dedication and perseverance to put the time in to the actual event, then you wouldn't have made it here either. So it's very impressive all around.
All right, scores are in. Let's see what we're up to from this match. And it's getting tight at the top here. Anonymous Lime now tied with Mad Max for first place with 32 points each, and Shafe at 28. All right, big comeback from the Death Eagle, who goes from the bottom of the board to 4th place here.
Very good from him. Lime, Mad Max, not just tied in the points for this game, they're both sitting at 123 across our cumulative score here. They're pretty close to Roby and Shafe, our top 2.
Is it the same person?
Could be. Just move back and forth really quickly. You'd never know.
They might be. It's Anonymous Lime. We don't know who he is. He could be the Mad Max we've been missing. All right, folks. It's underway. The folks are getting ready to go here. I think we're just getting them in position, and another island battle will be heating up. Scores are tight. We just saw there. I think it's still anyone's game, as we mentioned. I'm excited. Let's see what happens.
Here we go.
Focusing on one of our front runners here, Roby. He had a really good showing in Blade Battles, taking home 59 points there. He only has 21 to his name thus far here in Slap Battles, but still leading in overall points. Will need to step things up, though, if he wants to keep that position and be the third player in the top 4.
Yeah, we're underway. The music is a-bumping and the slaps are a-flowing. Respectable candidates all shaking each other's hands here, saying, hey, let's just hang out in the middle and relax. Although we see some players on the edge here. Let's see if anyone falls. No, Shafe looks like he's going to be sick. No!
Oh.
Anonymous Lime. Big knockout for the team. He has been leading so much here. Him going down first is going to be a crushing loss to his score.
As you can tell by his expression there, devastating.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an important one to keep his hopes alive here. He'd really use Slap Battles to come back in this competition. All right, some more folks jockeying for position at the edge here. We'll see Roby in a dangerous spot. This could be it. If he goes down here. Oh, and he does.
Called it.
Oh, that is crushing. Oh, but guess what? Death Eagle falls on the other side of the map. Oh, man, the 2 finalists of our last round, an important game for them, both fall in the bottom 3 here.
It's been a new winner every time thus far for Slap Battles, and someone else up high in the standings is Shafe. He's going to be one of these final 5 players alive, but close to the edge. He has a battle against Icicle. Knocked off. Shafe is gone. It's going to be all new players in this final 4.
Gosh, that is rough. Poke Dragon, maybe this is his climb to the top here. A first place here is a lot of points he so desperately needs. He's got to have to play this fierce competition at the front of his glove.
His avatar looks like somebody who's just been slapped really hard.
That is true. He's shocked by something.
Those eyes popping out.
Yeah, hopefully it's not his score at the end of this game here because he's going to need it.
Come on,
yeah, he
Deagle.
said his rival was John from Garfield
Deagle's
when
not
he
even
was
in
asked.
still.
Interesting response from him. I don't know if that's going to be playing in his head here as he's into the final 3 up against Mad Max, the 2-time runner-up in this game mode thus far. Maybe trying to get his first win on the board against Poke and Jay. And Jay, he's gone down to Mad Max and Poke Dragon. In a 1v1, they're both falling. He's on the platform. Who jumps higher?
Oh, was that delayed?
Mad Max! He pulls things through a last-second jump, and after 2 second-place finishes, Mad Max takes home a win in Slap Battles.
Well, that was incredible. I think he actually did get a delay on the dropping platform there, and that was the millisecond he needed to get that win, and just like that, Mad Max is going to take our 4th round of Slap Battles. That's an important one.
Very lucky positioning right there.
It was. Another interesting round, coming down to a different set of top 2. And as we've mentioned before, Slap Battles, a lot of variety coming out of our top contestants in that one. Unfortunately, Roby and the Death Eagle fall early on in that one.
And those are things you're never really going to practice for, being both on a falling platform and having to like time your jump perfectly to know when you're going to actually die falling off the map. Like, you really got to feel it out, have a little bit of luck, a lot of bit of skill to make it there. And good thing for Mad Max. I mean, looking so good in the points thus far here for Slap Battles.
And I also noticed in the fourth round there, it looks like a lot of players kind of spread out to have some 1v1 battles. Let's see if they do that again in the 5th.
Scores are up, though, and taking a peek, Mad Max, 2-time runner-up, first-time champion, leading things by a solid amount of points there, up 14 over Shafe in 2nd.
Yeah, that's a big breakout. He needs that. Mad Max now at 48. That is a huge lead as we see a clustering of all the other players.
He needs a lot.
So again, as we ready for a final round here, I have to look back at Roby. He has the lead in terms of points right now, but Mad Max has whittled it down to 1. Shafe is only 5 behind as well. So this final round very well may decide who is going to move into the top 4 and claim that second to last spot.
Yeah, and we see Roby in the center of our camera right there. This is so important to him. He came in as a massive leader in Slap Battles and unfortunately has fallen quite a bit now, and his competition is right on his heels. With multiple players within 5 points and another within, looks like 15, this is still anyone's game.
Roby wants to win this one, not leave it down to the math, get a clean lead out ahead of his opposition. That's his goal in this final round.
You'll see if the players recognize it. There is some chance here for kind of some teaming up on folks as we get a push to the edge here. Who's involved in this? Is that Jay and Roby here? They don't want to go down early.
Managed to escape that.
Yeah. At the same time, though, the players, they don't see the points that we do. They're definitely going to be locked in on the game at hand and just trying to win in every single one of these games.
Yeah, and that's all that matters, again, these collected points. All right. No one falling early on this one yet. They're all taking it pretty seriously, playing it safe. This is our final round of Slap Battles. No, as I say it, what happened? We missed it off camera. Roby goes down.
Oh, no.
And that's a last place elimination. That opens the field wide open. So the player down in 4th place, Anonymous Slime, was trailing by 17 points, maybe just out of reach for him. But Shafe, Mad Max, those are the players we're looking at here to be able to do it.
That is crushing for Roby. Mad Max must be real excited right now. This is his time to shine. If he can stay on this platform for just a little longer, he might be in the spot to move on, which is kind of a sneak attack here. We didn't see him on the leaderboard at the top coming into slap battles, but showed consistency is key.
Shafe against Icicle.
Mad
really
Max
wants
goes
to stay alive.
down.
And there goes Mad Max.
That is huge for our score, and I'm not sure. We're going to have to turn to the judges after this to see finals as Jay falls in 6th place.
The way I see it, this game is in Shafe's hands. He was great in SLS, winning every match there. Now needs to secure this win, get as many points as possible to
That
lock
is
in
huge.
that 3rd spot in the top 4.
Yeah, this is his redemption arc for what was a rough SLS. Triple win and not enough to progress here.
He's in the final 3. That already might be good enough. It's going to come down to the wire, though. Icicle near the edge. Shafe in a commanding position, pushing
Look at
them
him.
both back,
Yeah,
spamming
winning
out
the
the slaps
2v1.
and into a 1v1 now.
Oh,
He's falling, though, and
slips on the
Icicle out of nowhere takes home the final round of slap battles.
Pumped. That was huge. All right, well, huge implications in our last round there. This is going to mix things up, and I'm not even sure I know. We're going to have to wait to see that scorecard after our judges add that up, and we'll reveal the excitement in this round.
It's such a big question. Did Shafe win enough points to take it over the players up top? Roby, Mad Max, they both went out early. This is going to truly come down to the wire for a 3rd spot.
All right, folks, the dust is still settling. The scores are being added. It is some exciting stuff ahead here. Hopefully we'll find out soon who's moving on.
If I had $1 million, I'd put it on Shafe.
Yeah.
I think he really secured his spot being second in that last round. That was
Yep.
very clutch.
All right, folks. Well, let's tune into Geach and Sabrina and see what they have to say before we get our final results. Oh, here was someone else.
Man, my hands hurt from just watching all of that slapping. Sabrina, if you were a glove, what kind of glove would you be?
Oh my goodness. I would probably be a glove that's similar to Rapture because I really like that ability. But it would probably spray out Bright Juice.
I'm sorry, it just
Bright Juice. Okay, well,
giving me
we're going to check back in
vibes,
with the casters really quick and see what they got going on over there.
None of that. Controversial. Hello, world. No surprises here.
Yeah, I mean, well, we were just talking about it. They're still figuring out the points for this final round, and I think we have them tallied up now to see where everyone is standing at the end of slap battles. This is just the points for slap battles, though, so not necessarily determinative of who's actually going to be making it through, because it is cumulative, but a very close competition. Mad Max and Shafe came in with a lot of points themselves. You're looking at them as the front runners to make that 3rd spot.
All right. Yeah, an unfortunate final round as we see there. Some of the top players early fell. Roby
you're not
getting
lucky
1 point
game.
and 2 points the round before. That is crushing coming in last in slap battles.
Yeah, and for him, I mean, definitely a tough time there. Some moments of greatness, and, well, our umpires, they're still tallying everything up. So let's go ahead and check back in with Dagichi Gamer and Sabrina in our green room.
All right, you guys. Yeah, I'm so sorry. We just had to make sure we knew who was on top before we got back into it over here. So you were saying if you had a chance to be a glove, it was going to spray Bright Juice?
Yeah, that's something I use for luck. Never mind. I can't explain it. But yeah, what do you guys think about the standings?
I'm pretty happy that I saw Icy up there. He was really doing bad on the last game, so I'm actually glad that he kind of came back from this one.
Okay. With that being said, with Icy, kind of pulling back up, are you not worried about having to go up against them?
No, not for the next games. I'm pretty confident for these next two, especially in the top 4 ones. So I think I have a pretty good shot of getting to the grand finals here.
All right. Well, time will tell who advances us next. But joining us now, we have 2 people that you may have already seen or maybe not, who have already punched their ticket to the next round. We have Daddy Dad and Terrell. Welcome, you guys, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. Daddy Dad, you've advanced after playing Dress to Impress and Super League Soccer. How did you prepare for such a wide variety of games?
Yeah, I played Dress to Impress for like hours and hours and hours with friends because I think my sense of fashion at first was really bad. I was not confident for Dress to Impress at all, but I was really surprised when I got first on that one round. So, and then Super Soccer League, I mean, I don't know. I thought I did pretty well there, so.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit of practice on that one.
You definitely went crazy on the
Your
third
fit
round.
was my favorite on Dress to Impress.
Thank you so much. I like the first one was really good. My second one was pretty bad, I think, but that's okay.
You thought it was bad?
I thought it was bad because I saw everyone else is doing the ice fairy way better than mine, and my colors didn't match, I think, so I thought it was bad.
Okay.
It's
Well,
okay.
we are definitely our own harshest critics, for sure.
Yeah, I beat myself a little bit because I thought I could get first, like, way better there, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, that's how you do it. Just play with your friends and let them be your critics and let them judge you and troll you. And then eventually you end up in a competition where you can compete for $1 million maybe and
Yep.
pull it out, you know.
Shout out to Makio for that friend that helped me out.
And so, Terrell, how what was your strategy? How did you approach Blade Ball? Like, what was your strategy for that?
Just survive. And-
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, clearly it worked.
All right, so we're gonna take it back to Jay Party. Thanks, guys, for kicking it with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next couple of rounds.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. It's good to hear from some of our contestants that have already made it in. But we have another player joining them, and I'm happy to announce our umpires have tallied the score. And the third finalist making it through after the conclusion of slap battles. It's Shafe!
All right, Shafe, congratulations. You've made it through. You get a slightly shorter break, but a break nonetheless. Rocking the orange outfit, it is Shafe. There he comes, the Slap King. Really came back. You know, I think he deserved it. After a really, really impressive Super League Soccer wins across the board, swept it, he needed a big comeback. And this was his redemption round. All right, let's check out the leaderboard and see where everyone stands coming out of that competition. All right. And again, a tie now. Roby and Mad Max. But right on their heels is Anonymous Lime. And of course, the Death Eagle going into a massive scoring game here. Hey, we know by this math, this is a huge point score. So guess what? Anyone could still make it, although Poke Dragon, the man from up north, has a lot of work ahead of him.
That he absolutely does. Roby, though, got to be feeling a little bit rough after placing last in slap battles. Had just a couple points more, and he would have been making it into that top 3. But he has another chance indoors and is still our leading contestant heading into that next game with a lot of really points on the line here, Jay Party.
All right, good stuff. Note to myself, don't try to shake Shafe's hand after this. He might just slap me. But that's not important because right now we're going to hear the rules of our next game. It is the final round of the progression system, and it is an exciting one. If you weren't already on the edge of your seats, you will be, because coming up next, it's Doors.
Game 5, Doors. There is just one free-for-all match. The goal is to avoid attacks and survive. Last one standing wins. The contestant with the highest cumulative score will advance to the round of 4. Here's the scoring for each match.
All right. We are in with Doors. This is an exciting game. I know a game that a lot of the folks at home are very, very familiar with, but if you heard there, this is something a little different. This is actually a brand new mode released on April 1st. What a good timing for a new mode. That's a whole battle system indoors. This is going to be a whole survival competition between all of our remaining contestants to see who can stick it out, make it the furthest, and survive the longest.
Yeah, I was playing a fair bit of this leading up, and it is so different than normal Doors. Doors is a slow horror game about staying alive and pushing your way through, but now it's really upping the tempo when you're playing in ranked. You run a lot faster, you can slide, there are power-ups, and your main goal is to grief the other players, not work together. The monsters are a problem, but your other contestants are tough as well.
Well, folks, it looks like we might be loading this game and getting into it. And I think we have. This is the kickoff for the last chance to keep someone's hopes alive. One more player will be progressing into the top round of 4. Who will survive and who will fall? One round of Doors is all that stands in their way.
Looks like they can't wait to get out of that elevator.
Yeah, seeing them practicing their jumping. It is worth noting there is some new movement mechanics in this mode, including a slide. And you're going to see when it starts here, I think we're going to delay a little bit here and have them reconnect. But in that time, you're going to see a lot of aggressive forward momentum, a lot of movement. It is a whole different game on Doors. It looks more like a parkour game sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, having reached door 100 many times, being carried by my teammates, I am definitely an expert in doors as well. But you can see these guys will probably make it past door 50 within less than 5 minutes because of how fast-paced this game mode is. It's going to be intense.
It goes pretty quick, and it also ends a little early. I don't remember exactly what door, but once they get to the end, you get into like this basically sudden death mode where any damage you get from a monster, another player, anything like that will knock you out. And I imagine with how good our contestants are, you were mentioning a few of them have even said that this is one of their specialties. We should be expecting them to go deep here indoors.
Yeah, going to be exciting competition. And maybe we can give a little more background indoors. This mode also has an array of new items that have been added. So while you might be familiar with the monsters, there's a whole new array of objects, different bombs to throw, knock down players, slow them down, do some damage to their health bars, and of course heal that back up, as well as some fun, unique items hopefully we'll discover throughout the match. Some fun surprises.
Yeah, there's a couple different weapons you can use to basically PvP with the other competitors. There are props, things like chairs, plants, random stuff like that you can throw at them as well to deal damage and put them into a stun state. There's also still limited places to hide, so you can grief other players, steal a closet from them when Rush is coming through and knock them out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one other important thing is all the players, they're very fast at playing the game, and all of them cluster together. It might block your vision with some entities coming your way. You might not even be able to see them with people blocking your vision. So
right now.
that's going to be a key thing to look out for as well. Could be some unlucky players in this.
Yeah, there absolutely could. And remember, it's only one round of doors. This is a longer one, so we're only playing it once. But that means pressure is on for players like PokeDragon, like Icicle, who are sitting lower in the overall standings right now. This is their last chance to compete for that $1 million and make it to the top 4.
All right, folks, you've heard about Doors, but let's talk a little about the creators behind Doors. Doors is made by Lightning Splash, a really awesome and wonderful dev I've had the pleasure of working with and hosting in one of our last award shows. He helped me actually announce some of those prizes. But not only does he make this game, he also produced the entire soundtrack and makes
And the music's good.
The music, right. And that is such an absolutely important and critical part of the horror game world is that sound, that complete immersion you get from wearing your headphones. And so really an incredible work here.
It is truly an atmospheric experience for sure. Another one of those games that I think has really taken Roblox by storm. But here we go. It looks like the players are all loaded up in the elevator, and we're ready to get things going here. This is Doors competitive. 1 round and a last chance to make it to the top 4 and have your shot at $1 million.
All right, the first door is open and we are underway here. Gosh, is anyone breaking out in the lead early? Well, I'll tell you, it won't matter. This is a lot of game flow, and that's what you're seeing right there. This is a parkour-like experience.
Speed boosts.
Incredibly fast. You're seeing players slide past each other constantly, and while you're playing for speed like it is a race, again, you got to survive to the end. If you're out, you're out, and that's what's so important here. With up to 100 points for the victor and 0 for the loser here, you do not want to go down early.
No, you do not. 6.5 minutes, that's the maximum time that we're going to have to play this one through. You can see there's different strategies to go for. Do you want to be blazing the trail, being the first player up? There's risks associated with that. You're going to be the first to see the monsters. Or do you want to follow behind? There's risks there too. So in a very fast-paced game mode, you're going to have to make decisions quickly and make the right decisions to stay alive.
There's the first bomb you see being dropped on his opponents.
Yeah, small amounts of damage being done. We see those health bars above. Again, if you're an expert on Doors, this could be a new mode for almost everyone out there. So those health bars do matter. That's what's going to be reduced to 0. And there is ways to hurt each other with those items. There are also ways to heal. And there you just saw it there, picking up a heal. That's important there. Keep that topped off. You don't want to get low. It's an unfortunate way to go with another player doing damage to you.
There is also these boost packs on the floor. You see now how ridiculously speedy these players are that can help you go just that bit quicker. And on top of that, the heal items on the floor, that's another thing there. The golden gun picked up and a lot of damage onto, I think that was Lime, knocked down to quite a fair little bit of XP or HP.
Oh, you see another player get hit by something there, and look at that. 1 health bar is very low on one of our players, and that's a dangerous position to be in. You never know when a single monster sneaks up on you and knocks you out of this competition.
I hear something coming.
I do. I hear it. Could we get...
So what monster is that we're hearing, Enyu?
I barely heard that, but it sounded like it might have been Rush. I didn't see any lights flicker, though.
Yeah. There is a lot of monsters that have to deal with. A lot of this game is kind of having the game knowledge, figuring out which monster you might be facing, what the proper reaction is. If it's something like eyes, you have to look away, but you're that little psst, and you got to...
We low-key need a plan. We low-key need a plan. But I'm getting tired here. So maybe the plan is, right, I cut off my mic, right? But I'm lying in bed, but I'm still watching Raw on my phone. Instead of sitting up. Sounds like a good plan, innit? Yep.
I don't look exactly at the monster.
If I'm talking now, you know. Don't know. It took me so long to work on this. Like, to work on this control. Wait, why did it just cut out? Yeah, it took me so long to work on that. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking, then I'm just going to watch my phone in bed. And we'll see what happens. And I just need to hope it doesn't die. So, I'm going to go on mute. I don't want to overheat my battery. So, like, it might die. Who knows? Anyways, let's keep watching.
So a lot to think about.
Yeah, and Rush is a big...
Remember, coming into this Roby 100, Mad Max, they were tied 141 points.
Really an incredible work here.
And we're ready. Last
is, I'll tell you...
Who's just sad?
Might have used that to avoid death.
That's an important one. Allows you to keep your place in the... You take that first place spot, you can knock all of the other competition out of here and secure the last spot.
When you look at someone like Icicle, like Poke Dragon as well, towards the lower part of our standings, they're preying on the downfall. Not only do they have to win, but they have to prey on the downfall of our top players. So for them, Anonymous Slime losing out this early actually gives them a greater chance as we go deeper into doors.
Yeah, it's huge. It knocks the tournament wide open here and allows some of these players to have a real shot at getting at the last spot in the top 4.
You have a lot more agency than in the other game modes of how to take other people down. So if I was someone like Poke Dragon, like Icicle, I would be trying my hardest to grief Roby, grief Mad Max, try and get them out, because those are your biggest threats right now.
Don't give them any ideas.
We'll see. They all seem pretty focused. And again, it is a dark and fast-paced world here. I know it can be challenging for the players to get a sense of where the competition is at while not falling too far behind, which is a quick exit if you fall too far behind. The game has some mechanics to ensure you're out of there. As we hear another monster close in here, just taking a second to enjoy the sounds of what is an incredible top horror game in the world.
And you talked about this music. It's so impressive that a dev was able to just put that together as Poke Dragon gets a little jump scared, but still alive on a sliver of health.
Yeah, his dreams of this competition are still going on that last sliver. We'll see if he can find any relief or if he's going to get knocked out by even another player with that low of health.
Still 6 players alive, but as I say that, someone falls. Who did we just lose? That was Icicle. And coming into this with 107 points, only receiving 10 from his finish. That should be the end of Icicle as well. But good news for the lower players, Mad Max is gone.
Oh, this is huge with Mad Max dropping again, one of our leading players. This means Roby and the Death Eagle are still very much so in this.
Okay, Dragon's dream stays alive as well.
Okay, we've got a lot of points still ahead here as we're getting deeper and deeper into the doors puzzle. I'm not even, do you guys know what door we're on here? I'm having a hard time just even keeping track of how quick they're moving.
Our contestants are moving so fast, it's almost impossible to tell. Eyes spotted Screech as well there for Jay. He avoids it and stays alive.
Yeah, good camera work. And it's important to note from the observers, those quick spins, those quick turns, they matter so very much in this game. Those are all tactical. You are looking for monsters. You are getting the response. Did someone fall here? No. Death Eagle gets caught. We hear some emotion coming out behind us, but he is not out of this. Thankfully, he had the HP bar to deal with that.
I think I saw door 68 there. 69, 70, they're still going.
I think narrowly avoiding Eyes there, and Rush as well, but someone falls to Rush. Who was that we just lost? That was Poke Dragon. And coming in with only 75 points, receiving 30 for that finish. It's not going to be them moving on either.
All right, well, folks, this actually is an exciting trio because this order does matter as you are fighting for your life here. Roby and the Death Eagle in a good spot, but guess what? I believe 3J still has a chance here if he can be the top finisher and knock Roby down.
Every one of these positions gets you 20 points ahead of your next opponent. The Death Eagle is within 20 of Roby. 3J is just about 22 behind the top finisher as well. So he basically needs to win and have Roby be the next out if he wants to make it here.
Time is ticking. After these final 5 seconds, HP bars will not matter. We will drop down to 1, which someone has an offensive item.
That's a very
Sudden
big pickup.
death has begun.
Stop sign could put an end to it. Jay has his chance. Death Eagle
Boom,
is gone.
Jay goes down. And this is it. The winner of this will actually be the survival. Wait, who just went down here? Was
It's
Jay?
Roby against 3J.
Jay, all right.
1v1. The first one to land any damage will take this one home. Roby, though, came in as the points leader, has his chance to shore things up. and finds a hiding position.
Wow.
He wins it.
Oh, and
Wow.
just like that.
Wow.
He led in points heading into doors, and he'll come out with 100 more. Roby, an incredible performance by him. We'll have to tally it up, but that
Yeah.
should put him in a position to make it.
His usual stoicism broken for a brief smile. We hope we enjoyed that. That is a huge victory. The winner of Doors and a massive return to form for Roby. A definite fan favorite from early on in this competition.
And, it's amazing. He was a step away. He was the worst performing player in slap battles after coming in with the most points. He comes in with the most points again, finds his redemption in Doors.
Didn't have to call him out like that, but yes, congratulations to him. And also, amazing commentary on you guys' end there, because I was just trying to keep up the whole time, and I could not.
It is
I
an
had
overwhelming
no idea what was going on. Like I said, I've always been carried indoors my entire career, so seeing players play individually is very impressive.
Well, that's a wrap for Doors, and more importantly, a wrap on our qualifying round. And, the umpires verify the ratings and update the leaderboard. Let's get some reactions from Geech and Sabrina.
My initial reaction, wow. Just wow. That was some next level gameplay. How long do you think you would have survived, Sabrina?
I would have ran into the wall and died immediately. That was way different than normal Doors that I've played. It was so fast.
Yeah, my eyes could barely keep up. It's already moving fast, but then we're zooming between the screens too.
How did they know what to do?
I couldn't tell you. There was so much going on, and that level was really different.
Yeah. And they were able to sabotage each other?
Yeah.
Was I seeing that?
That's a pretty cool addition to Doors, as complicated as it already is. And then now you're playing against people, not just alongside each other. Because I guess typically when you play Doors, you're working as a unit, working together to get as far as you possibly can together. And now we're adding in the element of competition, which takes it to a new level.
So in that case, I would not survive very long.
Yeah,
to
no.
answer your question.
I hear you. I'm not making it out of the lobby. I guess the elevator. I'm not making it out of the elevator.
Is that as far as you've made it?
Actually, I think I've made it to the library before, where you kind of have to be stealthy.
That's pretty far.
I'd say yes. Maybe I've had to use a Robux or two, to buy a revive because
I have had my fair share of pay to win.
Yeah, I can't even say pay to win because
you can't really pay to win.
I didn't win. I just came back a couple of times to try and get a little further. Once those chase scenes start with that big long monster, down the hallways and stuff in the library, that's just kind of it for me. You gotta
the soundtrack too, and all of the monsters, all the sound design is so phenomenal. I am curious, did you experience April Fool's indoors last year?
No, because how things work for me is once I get to a point where I just realize that it's not really for me, because I love Doors.
You said your favorite genre was horror.
Yeah, but see, it's the stealth factor, because I love horror. It's fun, right? But then with Doors, it's a little different. You have so many other factors. It's puzzle, which I also like that too, but it's the sneaking through. I'm telling you, because that's the furthest I ever get is that doggone library with that monster kind of tiptoeing around. And somehow I'm not good at that. I can't really get through. So yeah, the furthest I've probably gotten is that. But no, I didn't get to do the April Fool's one. It's been a minute since I played Doors.
Yeah, the April Fool's one was totally done by mouth. All the sound design. It was the developers. They mouthed everything. The music and everything. It was very funny.
Do you remember how it went? Can you sing it?
Dude.
Are we gonna get copyright?
No, I don't think I'm gonna do it.
No, are we? No. Okay. Well, let's.
Okay. Should we take a look at the chat?
What's
See what the chat is saying?
The chat was really excited for Doors. That's all they were asking for all day: slap battles and Doors. So I feel like they finally got what they wanted.
They are screaming, "We believe in you, Eagle."
Oh,
okay, Eagle.
And the chat's been rooting hard for Eagle from the beginning too. Eagle, you got a solid fan base.
Dang. Okay. Roby though, Roby is doing a really good job.
Let's talk about Roby being the sleeper here for real, because I feel like Roby's been kind of killing it all the way through, but it's always just been he's always been falling just a little bit short. Yeah. But it's he's been really pulling it out. Last minute, Roby is clutch. Roby is the definition of clutch. That's what we really got going on here.
So you said that your favorite genre is horror, but you haven't beat Doors. And I'm just curious, what makes a Roblox game instantly fun for you?
For me, definitely shareability. I just made that up because like I love to play games with my friends or my community. You know, shout out Geechee Gang. I love to be able to play games and introduce people to the things I love, including
That's what
video
Roblox
games.
is about.
It's perfect for that. So I really love that. Funny enough, I want to say Slap Battles was probably like the first game where I really said, I have to tell everybody about this. This is hilarious. It's a lot. It's very fast paced a little bit, but it was so funny to me to watch.
I'm really bad at slap battles, but I did beat the developer, and he did say he could give me an admin glove, so maybe I'll follow up on that.
What does an admin glove even consist of? What can you
I don't
do
know.
with that?
I have no idea, but that would be pretty cool.
You know what I would do if I could create a glove? I'd make a zombie glove, right? Hear me out. So,
okay.
You take your zombie glove and you start smacking people. And every time you smack somebody, you're now in control of them. Now they go do your dirty work for you. And they just go wipe out the rest of the map for you. So now you can do like Roby, kick it in the tree somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And just sit back and kind of just watch your work, you know? I think I'd go with that.
Okay. I'm going to look more at the chat over here now that we're probably caught up.
And so with that being said, I talked about how I really enjoy being able to share, my moments in my games with my friends and stuff like that. And this was a really cool opportunity for that as well, because, this is the first event of its kind. What are some events involving Roblox that you've been able to participate in? Because you said you did the hunt itself. So what are some other events that you've done?
My favorite event was definitely RPO Egg Hunt 2018. It like changed my life kind of. It made me really look at Roblox differently. It was all about community, all about working together. And so we made an event that was really heavily inspired by it, called RB Battles.
I was going to say the chat has been talking about that too. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we make a championship series sometimes. We've done 3, and we love to do something similar to this. And so this is exactly what I think the community was asking for with the hunt, with all the secrets and the hunting and everything. Roblox super delivered on that. And I think it's been really, really well done. I participated in the whole thing, and I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, it looks like we are ready. I am dying to know who's moving on. Any updates, J Party?
Please tell us.
All right. The results are in, Sabrina. And a quick reminder that scores are cumulative for this round. So the contestants with the most points from all 5 games will be advancing. And even though only one of you will be moving on, you all get a good shout out and be proud of yourselves. With 180 million visits to this hub, you had a lot of competition and proved these were the top 10 best in the world. You did incredible work, you solved incredible things, and cemented each and every one of you in Roblox history as legends in the Hunt Mega Final. But without further ado, while we celebrate our last progress into the top 4, we want to say goodbye to our heartfelt competitors who had a good run today. So, let's find out who's going home right now. Heading out first, unfortunately, we're going to say goodbye today to our friend from up north, Poke Dragon 100,000. You did great. Take your final walk away from the stage. Thank you, Poke Dragon 100,000. All right. Going on next, we're going to have a heartfelt goodbye to Icicle. Come on out. You did fantastic. I think you had some wonderful wins, some wonderful moments. Unfortunately, we're saying goodbye today. Coming out next from our competition is, unfortunately, Anonymous Lime. We have to say goodbye today. You did fantastic work. Can't say enough. Again, beating millions and millions out for their spot today in the top 10 Anonymous Lime. Thanks again. All right, heading out next of our competition is the one and only Mad Max. We're sorry to say goodbye. A fantastic run. Again, thank you so much for all your hard work. That was exciting stuff. And now the next unfortunate contestant to head out of this competition is the Death Eagle. Say goodbye. You got a lot more fans today from the chats at home. The Death Eagle, wonderful stuff, wonderful job, incredible highlights, and that was incredible to see. All right, folks, they have been eliminated, but guess what? We have 2 folks remaining, and we're going to announce our winner. But first, why don't we bring them up? Why don't you come up here and join me in the middle of the stage here? Yeah, we'll figure it out. This is good. All right, folks, come on down. Let's put one of you. Yeah, we'll have you here Over here, excellent. All right, how we feeling? Time to relax. Still amped?
Bro, so many emotions running through my head right now. It's crazy.
All right, folks. Well, this was a wild journey. And after 5 games, you two hold the highest scores, which means one of you will be moving on into the next round, and the other is unfortunately going home for now. All right, without further ado, the contestant with the highest score today is Roby100. You are moving on. Thank you, sir. A big round of applause. A handshake today. Really appreciate it, 3J. Hey, you did great stuff. Get in here, whatever we need. Wonderful work, my friend. We'll see you soon. All right, again, 3J, thanks for all your hard work. This has been an incredible journey, incredible performance. But today, Roby, you just entered your top 4. Are you ready? You're going to be in it.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. I mean, like that last round, like it all came down to that final game. Like, so everyone was so close. Like I was like, bro, that was the most stressful game of Doors I've ever played in my entire life. Like, bro, I was shaking the whole time. I was just so locked in. That was the only thoughts going through my mind were Doors, hide here, hide here. Oh, there's a thing coming. Hide in here. I was like, bro, it's actually. But yeah, it was. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the final.
Well, that was incredible. You already hear the most stressful game, the most stressful mode, and the most stressful performance. But guess what? You made it. Take a deep breath. You've got a whole new world of competition ahead of you, and 3 other challengers await you in the back. But for now, incredible stuff. You showed amazing perseverance today. And again, that's a big time. How'd you prepare for today?
I played a lot of games. I honestly, I practiced Doors the most, so that really came in clutch there at the end. I was like, after the mode came out, April 1st, I just played it for hours until I had to leave to California, and that worked out in the end, so I'm glad I did that.
Do you typically win when you play online with all the other folks, just in the general Roblox population?
I hold my place. I do fairly well. Yeah, I was really close to edging out those few other rounds, and then right at the end, yeah. But.
All right, incredible stuff, Roby100. Thanks you again. You're going to join your fellow competitors in the top 4, and we'll let you go and do that because we're going to get ready for the next round. It is exciting. It is a competition that is just heating up. But wait a minute, I just got word that we've got a surprise guest. I think they're going to share their thoughts. Maybe we can jump over to our correspondence team and see who we've just got.
Thanks, Jay Party. Joining us to give his analysis is content creator Doors expert Creekcraft.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We are excellent. We are on the edge of our seats through this competition.
I know this has been like so crazy to watch, just like back and forth. Like I'm sweating over here, and I'm not even playing.
Me too. That was so suspenseful. But Creek, how are you feeling about what just happened?
I don't think I've ever seen a game of Doors played like that. Like it was so fast. I couldn't even tell at some points what was going on because they were just going so fast. They were moving so fast. It was crazy.
Those were exactly my words.
Yeah, it was quick. Have you ever considered like what it might be like to play a game of Doors with all these added features to it? Because now you've got attacks, you've got bombs, you've got weapons, you've got extra attack. Now you're playing against people instead of just playing it to win it. How do you approach something like that?
You know, before I saw them play, I was like, you know what? I think I'd be pretty good at this. And now it's like, no, I'll let them play. I'll just sit over here and watch from the sidelines.
No way, Jose.
So are you saying you would not play against any of these guys?
Yeah, definitely not for money. We'll say that. Like for funsies, maybe, but money on the line, ain't no way. None of them. No.
You think you can handle that pressure?
No. I'm feeling the pressure here, and I'm not even in it.
So who do you think is going to win?
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I feel like the fan favorite right now is Roby. But I don't know. They're so good. I guess we'll see what happens next.
For sure. Sorry, go ahead.
You can go.
Okay, so I want to know, how did you feel? Because, you've been watching. How do you feel about these guys' performance? So we have Duddy Dud, Anterell, Shafe, and now Roby. How do you feel about their performance up to this point?
Watching Blade Ball was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen someone so good at that game in my life. Like, it just constantly winning every round. Like, impressive. Super impressive. I'd never want to go up against him in my life.
Whose dress to impress outfit was your favorite?
It's funny because I'm kind of bad at the game a little bit. So I was just watching it, and I could tell that it probably wasn't their number one game on Roblox. So like I was I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. I gotta go with man, I don't even know. I think the second round, I think Iron Mouse said this. I think the second round they did a lot better than the first round. They were a little bit more like acclimated with the game, a little bit more prepared, knew where everything was at. So I don't know any specifics. The one with the double wings, who was that?
Yes. That was
Death Eagle.
Eagle, yes.
Death Eagle, Deagle, yeah, him. That one was probably my favorite. Deagle's his new name.
That was my favorite as well.
I think everybody really did like that one. That was a huge hit with everybody watching.
Who do you think would do better in a racing game?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like the more like twitchy movements of like Blade Ball and like Doors would probably be a little bit like helpful. So I'm gonna go with Antarel on that one.
Interesting. Yeah, I would say Antarel or Roby myself.
I was going to say the exact same thing because the way that Antarel's reflexes worked for Blade Ball really worked in his favor, but then the maneuvering that Roby, applied to get through doors, even when it seemed like, we didn't know how that was going to go, that's definitely going to work in their favor for the racing one.
Yeah, they all survived like really long too on that. I was playing a little bit of the Doors game mode since it came out, and like typically they go kind of fast, but they were hanging in there. Everybody did like a really, really good job. Came down to it.
So what was your favorite part so far of this entire competition?
Ooh, it was okay. Probably the back and forth in soccer, Super League Soccer was crazy. That was very exciting to watch. And then of course slap battles, because it's such a funny game. Just people just slapping and farting all over the map. But there's $1 million on the line,
Right.
So
I was going to ask.
If I had to pick, I'd say slap battles.
Slap battles. All right. So how would you approach that if you were, in that slap battles? Because now you had to factor in the level kind of being destroyed as you go. Do you think you could have handled that?
Look, I don't really play slap battles that much anymore, because every time I do, I get destroyed by a bunch of 8-year-olds on their iPads, and it makes me so sad. So I probably wouldn't even make it to that far in the competition, to be honest with you.
Okay, I have a question for you, Greek. Who's more likely to open a cursed door, me or Geech?
Ooh. That's a good question. Deej, you said you haven't played Doors that much, right?
No, I've definitely played it. It's played me more than I've played it, for sure. But yeah, I've got a little experience with it,
I'm gonna go with Sabrina. I feel like you're a little bit more unlucky in games like this.
What? Listen, I beat Pressure, okay? I beat the Mega Token. Come on.
That one was hard. Was that you said that was your hardest one, right?
Yes, it was. It was my hardest one. But I also have gotten further than her in Doors.
Allegedly.
But I'll take it. I'm the one that'll probably open the cursed door. You were probably correct.
I will say, though, although I haven't played a lot, I haven't gotten very far in Doors, it only took one cursed door for me to never do it again. And that was way in the beginning. So I'm just saying,
What even is a cursed door?
Oh, so now you don't know. She doesn't know what a cursed door is, you guys. No, so for those of you who don't know, in Doors, you have to find the correct door. The cursed door is when you happen to step into the incorrect door. So if you're on the wrong floor, you think you're going to 16, but really you've already done 16. You go into the 16 door, you're insta-kill. That's it for you. Game over. So yeah, like I said, it only took me one time. Never had to do it again.
You get jump scared.
Oh, I'm so...
Not a fun time.
Oh, listen, I'm so easily jump scared. That's the problem, see. My nerves, my anxiety is so bad, but I love horror so much, so I can't help myself. I don't know what it is, but yeah, those jump scares.
What about you? What about Creek? How many times have you screamed at Doors?
Oh man, I remember when the cursed doors, I think they're called the mimic doors, they first came out, and I didn't know what it was yet. And that first time, it like really got me. I like to think I'm a little bit better at it now, but see, the problem is remembering what door you're on. Yep. And I have the memory of a goldfish. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or not, but like I get really bad at that, and so it's not a fun time for me.
Dang. Well, I'll make sure we have you playing more scary games.
See now I want to see what it's like for you to play this new level, this new version of Door. I want to see you do the competitive mode now, because even though you were like, oh yeah, that in the beginning, it kind of got me a little bit. I just feel like you're too comfortable. So now I feel like you got to really push yourself and get into like the new modes and see how you can hang with the folks throwing grenades at you while you're sliding under a wall and also trying to ward off a screech.
We'll see. I'll reach out to one of these guys at the end, and maybe we can arrange something and see just how I do. I'll probably die in the first 5 seconds, but we'll see.
Do you have a favorite entity / monster?
Oh, see, okay. From looks, I gotta go. This is about to be the most long-winded answer of all
Take your time.
Like,
Yes, do it, please. Let's hear it.
So I like Figure because I think he's probably like the most iconic in terms of like villains for Doors. My favorite entity though is probably got to be the new Sally window entity that I think was like a few updates ago. They added Sally in. My least favorite though, got to go with Ambush. Hearing Ambush come, it like my heart drops. What about you guys?
I don't know. I hate Screech because he's just annoying. But a favorite, I was saying Rush earlier because I just made up a stupid reason because I would, never mind, don't even listen to me.
Because you would rush?
Okay, so I asked her, I said, if you could partner up with one of the entities, which one would it be? Yeah. But thank you so much, Krieg. Entertaining as always. Appreciate you for joining us, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And keep up the good work. This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to throw it back to Jay Party. Come on, Jay Party, tell us where we are.
All right, my friends, we are back. Creek, always a pleasure to see you. I hope we hang out again soon. But folks, we're going to keep things moving and kick off the round of 4, which is, of course, a double elimination challenge. Win twice, you're in. Lose twice, and you are out. And all 4 players will play both Driving Empire and Rivals. So you'll be getting some driving and some shooting in to see who's the best. All right, folks, get ready for some adrenaline-pumping racing action because Driving Empire is going to start our round off with the final round of 4.
6. Driving Empire. There are 2 matches in a 1 versus 1 format. Whoever crosses the finish line first wins. All 4 contestants will advance to the next game.
All right. We're in for Driving Empire. Folks, how familiar are you with Driving Empire or maybe driving in general?
I haven't known to drive here and there in real life. Driving Empire, though, not so much. I think I have played it once before for a different event, so not too familiar with it.
I don't have a car in real life, but I've played Driving Empire a fair bit. It's a really fun game. It's cool. It's one of those kind of special games. You have a ton of licensed cars. You have a ton of options to choose from. Today, all our contestants are going to be rocking the same vehicle to put us on a level playing field. But it's definitely an intense one. Going head-to-head in a race against one other contestant. You make one mistake. You turn slightly too much into a corner. You collide with one thing, and that could set you back for this entire race. And now no one's going to be eliminated in Driving Empire. But if you lose Driving Empire, you lose your opportunity to be the undefeated player into the $1 million round, which is an absolutely huge advantage there.
All right, let's check out some shots and remind the folks at home who exactly is in this Final Four competition. And here they are. We have rearranged the studio. You're seeing Shafe and Roby here. Roby coming off an intense win indoors to secure his spot as the 4th finalist here. Exciting stuff. I know Shafe's had a bit of a break now. He's been able to breathe, collect his thoughts. Here we are in the new studio, thinking things out, getting set up in the game. It's exciting stuff. I know, Roby, a big fan from the chat out there. Hopefully he's got his fans still supporting him now in the top 4. And again, Dud and Antarel, the first 2 to qualify, they truly just cleaned up in the initial rounds.
And if you were playing, would you rather have qualified early like someone like Antarel or Dud, or would you rather come in hot after playing through every one of the qualifying round games?
I mean, it is a little risky, but I definitely would have loved to be in Roby's position just because he had played a more larger variety of games and definitely warmed up and got the adrenaline going. So I see him doing some good work in the next few rounds.
All right. We'll see if that momentum can keep him moving forward or if the pause will be too much. Anyway, it's time to get things going. We're moving into Driving Empire. Let's kick things off with our first round. We're going to see who the top 2 racers are. And again, this is a 1v1 race. They'll both be driving the 2024 GT Mark II around an exciting track, and there will be no collision on. Truly a time trial against one other player to see who's on top.
Well, it's the green car versus the light blue car. Roby against Dud in our first round here, and they're revving up their engines, ready to go and get us off to the races here.
All right, we are underway here, right on this bridge start here. This is going to be 3 laps around this arena, and this is an interesting course. There actually is a handful of shortcuts throughout it, as, we see some stuttering on that first turn there, and then we see our first opportunity for a shortcut not taken by the blue player. Roby falling a little behind. A lot of race to go, though.
The risk with the shortcuts is if you don't land them perfectly, you can end up flipping your vehicle or kind of veering off in a weird way. So you really have to consider, and you see the second shortcut. The blue car takes that. That's Dudadud now pulling ahead here, but catching up with a lot of speed is Roby on the overtake. He's out in front again.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. You saw the shortcut take, but again, going through the dirt there is going to slow your car down on that attempt for a max speed maneuver. But, this dangerous turn. We've seen this cost a lot of players time here, and they kind of weave their way through it with Roby actually getting in the lead there, taking a little bit of a tiny shortcut, but still neck and neck.
Very close competition. It's 3 laps around the course. We're about halfway through our second. Shortcut taken for Dudadud, and that's going to get him back into the lead here. But just around the corner, they're very close. I think right on each other's tails here.
How important you think map knowledge is compared to actual cornering skills and speed?
Yeah, I think the map knowledge is incredibly important because that's where you got to apply your skills. And again, with the high speed shift, if you look at those mile-per-hour drops, it's huge. People are dropping almost 0 on some of these incredibly tight turns, and it's an important part of it.
Well, just around the corner from each other, Roby is trailing. He won that last round, the final player to qualify to this top 4, and he's falling behind in this race. Dudadud, he takes the corner here. How close is that green car? Does he have a chance to catch up? Because Dudadud is doing this one perfectly through the finish line. He'll take this home in first place as Roby rounds through in the second place of this round. And for Dudadud, an opportunity now to head into Rivals as a victor in the first round, maintain his second life, and for Roby, it's going to be last chances here when he heads to Rivals.
You know, true Roby style, he's got to keep it entertaining, taking a quick loss here in his first elimination. He's still in it. We want you to know that clearly, but he's only got one more chance to stay alive because, again, he keeps the drama flowing. But an exciting win. All right, folks, let's check out this Final Four leaderboard and see where we stand. This is how we're going to go through the double elimination here with Dudadud taking the win and Roby taking the loss.
So this might look a little confusing. It's as simple as an O means they won the round, the X means they lost it. It's all 1v1, so you'll only ever see 2 players represented per round. You have to win 2 before you lose 2, which means at maximum, you'll play 1 round of Driving Empire and 2 of Rivals. The win here for Dudadud. As we're mentioning, though, it means when he heads into Rivals, he'll have 2 matches and 2 opportunities to qualify.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just taking a look at the chat here while you were talking. We put up a vote on who will win this round, and it looks like the fans were supporting Roby. So hopefully he makes his comeback going into Rivals.
Well, we appreciate his drama. All right, 1 match down and 1 more to go. Coming up next, we've got Antaral and Shafe heading in with the orange and gray car. We're going to have Shafe
orange color.
In the orange. Yeah, it's a good color. We appreciate them matching their jersey colors for this competition. And here is the warm-up. Let's see who will get first off the gun here. Exciting times. And all right, across the bridge they go. No initial mistakes from either player. Coming into this first bank, this is where we see the people going a little too quick, hit this rock wall and take a huge loss, but no, clean for both of them.
Very nice cornering from Antaral, the player with the most Roblox experience. 16 years since he first played a game on the platform. Still looking strong in this one.
Yeah, they've come a long way, I'm sure, from what his first game was that first week of the platform. But hey, still going strong.
No one's electing to take that ramp.
Oh, there's a crash there. I think Shafe might have just fallen, or Antaral, that is, might have just fallen behind. Yeah,
wow.
Antaral had the opportunity, and unfortunately, he falls into a trail position here.
Yeah, huge mistake there. Flies off the course and loses a ton of time. But that's what shows you it's still anyone's game within this race. Yeah, he's going to need those shortcuts. Now's the time to put it all on the line and just take every shortcut you can.
Shafe, he had a job opportunity in New York City. He put off his orientation for that job to take the risk. Come here, compete for $1 million, truly putting important things in his life on hold to put it all out there for us. And at least thus far, getting rewarded. We're heading towards the final lap, and it's still a good lead for Shafe, but one mistake, and Antrel will be right on him.
That was a great backstory. That almost had me in tears.
Well, so far looking like a good choice as he is in the top 4, and that $1 million signing bonus could be a thing. Although for now, this race is looking a little rough as he still falls further behind here. Shafe has taken a dramatic lead. We'll see if he crashes. That's kind of what he's relying on at this point as he comes through one of the final banks here before the straightaway across the bridge, and that is a good high-speed moment for them.
We're coming up towards the final corners, and Shafe, he hasn't made a mistake yet. He'll round the corner and take things home.
Oh, man. Good thing he clears that.
Into the water. He hits the final checkpoint, and Shafe wins his round. He'll face up against Dudadud in the 1-0 game when we head over to Rivals. It really goes to show that in Driving Empire, one mistake, that's all it takes to lose out. Antrel was looking great, but crashes once and he's out.
Yeah, I mean, how long did each lap take? Like under a minute?
Yeah, that's a fast game.
A lot of time to catch up.
You know, in true racing style, we appreciate the Driving Empire folks. But hey, I think it's time to check out this leaderboard and see the results of this match.
And there it is. Shafe with a win. Dudadud undefeated as well. So Roby and Antrel, they'll be facing elimination in Rivals.
An exciting, exciting game. Roby, keeping it dramatic as always. We'll see who can do it. Antrel, the defensive player of the early game soccer, coming through here in the shooters. We'll see if he can keep it going.
I think every viewer is foaming at the mouth to watch Rivals coming up next.
Hey, but first, let's check in with our correspondents, Team All-Stars. Geesh and Sabrina, what's going on, you two?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I need to catch my breath. That was some high-speed, high-stakes racing. Sabrina, what did we just witness?
We witnessed some intense racing. I thought that, like, at first it was going to be really close, and then at the very end, like, Shafe got really in front.
Yeah. It seemed like it kind of happened that way with both races, too.
They were just neck and neck for, like, most of it until the very end.
Right, because you figure the first race, you had, who did we have? Dud and Roby, which I was really sad to see them go against each other because I wanted to see them go a little further together. But, excuse me, y'all. You know, I kind of been watching both of them, and, you know, they've both exhibited such high skill level as it's come to all of these games. And we even talked about with Creek, you know, who did we think would have more of the advantage when it came to the racing game? And then we had, you know, Roby with the maneuvering, and then we had Antrel.
Off the edge, like going off the edge and like doing the really quick turnaround.
Right.
That was like pretty, it looks like they practiced that map a lot.
Right. And then also Antrel with Blade Ball, you know, being so quick on the draw and, you know, just that same, you know, level of maneuvering. And both of them got beat.
Yep.
I didn't see that coming. I mean, shout out to you guys. You did it. You know, you did the thing. But, you know.
Some of them still have chances, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty fun to see how this goes moving into Rivals now because, you know, you still, with that at this point, you got to have like actual skill. You have to have, you know, game IQ. You've got to have the quick reflexes. You've got to have, you know, the movement, you know, you got to be quick, you know, so.
I'm not good at that.
I'm not either. That's why.
That's why I'm not in the top 10.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I got a question for you though. So they've done some interesting brand collabs in this game. Which one are you most impressed with? McLaren, Porsche, or NASCAR?
Ooh, honestly, I'm impressed. I'm super impressed that anybody could get McLaren on board. You know what I'm saying? That's really dope. So yeah, I think that's I'd have to say that one.
Okay. Well, we're gonna give it right back to J Party and look at the score.
All right. Thank you, and welcome back to our competition here. Things are just heating up, and we're going to get this next round underway, folks. So, if I understand correctly, coming up, it's going to be the intense elimination matches happening on Rivals. Mimi, what do you think?
I mean, I just think that was such a good time to start already in Driving Empire, but